Today's show, I am Brenda. Please let me know. Remember, anytime that you want a reading, you just go ahead and email here. If you want to be paid, which isn't that expensive, you can get a lot of information. You can even say it like a healing or whatever. And if you do that, hey, you can come live right here, right on the show with us. We can see you or we can hear you. We have either choice. It's up to you. So I can get to the words because I still have to make this big. I'm not sure how to make the rest of it big. It's going to screw up the whole thing. Now, if you happen to be, because it's find out whether or not if that's true, then if so, I'm wondering other people could. So which page are you on? I'm assuming my regular page or Medicine with Soultion, or there's also another third option. And that is on my other Facebook page. So we'll see. There's 10 of you here. That's wonderful. I love to see that. New format. They're introducing us as you have to do this. So how do we, we're going to work on trying to get there. Here, hi, hello, Carrie Ann. Hello, Crystal Allen. Feeling those jitters. Okay, so energy, everything is energy. That's all you are. That's all there is. Here's the thing about it. As we start to shift out of this, so somebody spoke up and asked a question, and politely they answered back. And then when they had a suggestion other than, meaning let's make sure that we can roll with all of it, was blasted back with such evil language. And to show why would people do that? To show that they're superior. And so somebody else, and so to somebody else, was it hey, so, how do we do this? So this other person typed back. They said, look, I'm sorry that your ego's so fragile. Yes, so that was like a fighting words to some degree. But it was like, yes, I'm going to push your button because I should have the right to be able to say, because this is supposed to be an open forum. That's it. We're done. And it's like they got so angry. They grabbed their crayons and ran home in such a huff. Win points. The whole point of the forum was to talk about stuff. Well, if you wanted to win favor of the rest of us, it didn't work. Or win favor for her, so she'll take your notes. And it's like, but why should we, in an open forum where there is no leader, to have to bow down to someone that has to do with, okay, we all have the same agenda. That is the intention. Balanced. For instance, I just feel like Spirit really wants you to get this. Because when that energy of that space is meant for the intention, let's save the planet. And I guess the person that originally wrote it, I guess, would be the kickoff, the one that would kick it off, without revealing their complete intentions, that meaning they're completely in charge. And your opinion doesn't matter. I mean, that intention wasn't revealed. So there is still an intention, an agenda, depending on who writes it. So why should you have to walk on eggshells? Why should you have to? It wasn't about taking ideas, and then you have those that are overbearing. And the energy is saying, sorry, I will not take no for an answer. We're doing it this way. And then you have other energies that says, I'm going to work them. I'm going to work you over until I win you to my side. Do you see? These are all changing. These are all changing. They're changing because that fits the old paradigm. We need to learn to be responsible for the energy we bring into the room. We need to be responsible for the energy received, which means we have to. This one is very important because there's all these different angles. This one is very important. In the new world, your emotional intelligence, not your IQ, your EI, the EQ, the emotional quotient, the emotional intelligence, is learning to raise it up. So you want a high EQ. How do you get there? The only way you really can do that is to overcome. I don't like that word because it just means the roots are still there. You're going to develop a way to let you become stronger and healthier with your authentic self, which means you got to resolve when here's your boundary and somebody crosses it. And just ask yourself, how do you know? Hello, Laura. How do you know when somebody's crossed that boundary? Okay? You can feel the energies. You take offense, or the energy goes a little bit more. You're sitting there at, like, I'm sitting here. Now, no one else is in the room with me. I turned the TV on. I didn't pay attention to the channel. I sat down, was looking at something, and all of a sudden I felt very paranoid. I thought I was going to die. I looked over the TV set because that's the only thing that was on in the room, and it was talking about death. And it's, I know it was a warning. I know it was all that. I could feel my governing meridian. The governing meridian starts down at the perineum and come ups and around. But when it starts going backwards in the energy, you start to feel paranoid. When the central is open, then you start to feel vulnerable. And somehow, I don't know if it was not up or if they went down, but my immune system was listening with such great intent that the next thing I know, I became very vulnerable and paranoid, and I stopped my thoughts. I could have ran with my thoughts. I could have just jumped on one upon another and upon the other, and which is what we normally do, but we have to start catching ourselves. My heart was racing. I created a physiology. I was a mess. I was like, what the hell is this all about? Hold on, I'm trying to fix my camera. Oops. That didn't work. I was in such a state. Now, I could have easily zipped up, or hooked up. But when your body is making those hormone chemical peptides, you start to shake. Your physiology takes over. And if you're not aware that of becoming mindful of what's happening to your energies, you will be a victim. Do you want to be a victim? My focus of my goal is no. My focus is that I have joy and that my energies are intact and that I'm balanced. You have to become aware when you become unbalanced. And an imbalance is occurring. So I sat there and I realized that was happening. And then if you, again, energy was influenced from words that are like spells, the emotion they're playing on can change the body so that your fifth chakra loses its ability to, has to go back to going inward to find God, the creator of all that is, but you also have to be responsible for the creator on your part of what you're bringing through, of what you're receiving. So my mind started racing, but because I listened to my authentic self and listened to spirit, I stopped. What's causing it? TV set, the emotions, the words. I didn't get drawn so in that my observing self got stuck in the over-identifying with matter, and my lens called the ego up into that. Whether it's passion of hell or passion of love or fear, which one? You then, like, all of a sudden get sucked like into the TV set. And it's like wearing a mask. It's like wearing a mask because you over-identified with it You can identify with things, you can identify with what I'm saying, but you do not have to just so over-identify that it influences your thoughts to think of another thought, to think another thought, to think another thought, and run with it. If you're running with it in fear, put down the scissors, stay away from the fear, start to do the Celtic weave. If you feel like the outside's influencing you, kick out the energies. We are made of figure eight. So when you make huge ass, big to run this meat suit, you can do connecting heaven and earth, the hookup, or you can also learn when you're losing energy, when you start to go into spiritual debt. And that spiritual debt is when you take your life force and you get $100 and you decide you're going to put it into $100 into fear. Do you have any strength left to be able to help yourself out? Or do you now have to go outside to rely on other people to make you whole again? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, and I started to feel like I wanted to run with my thoughts. And I looked over and I'm like, oh, nope. Paid attention, 2 seconds. What was it? Okay, the coronavirus, shut it off. And it was nothing but impending doom, impending doom, impending doom. I got aware of the emotion and I started to call my energy back. I said, nope, I'm not doing spiritual debt today. So I just like, okay, bring my power, bring. And how I knew, I can pay attention to the emotion, look at the thought, and I get to stop. Say, no can be your key ass word. Cancel, cancel, cancel can be in a deeper part of you. I don't care if you think other people think you're nuts, but when you realize how much it works for you, you won't give a rat's ass what other people think about you. All I know is that I was like, nope, cancel, cancel, cancel. Okay, come back. And I became aware. I stopped my thoughts. I said, I'm done. And I started to pull my energy out of the emotion. I literally felt the emotion. And I said, nope, I'm not creating that thought form. I'm not creating that reality. I do not have to join you. It's not that I was being stupid. It was my choice to do whatever I wanted with my power, my personal life force, physical, keep me healthy power. Okay. So what happens if it does? Left brain, right brain, you can start losing power in your hemispheres. Your polarity could flip. And let me tell you, you'll start feeling sick. And if you have this open, you'll feel like a gut pig. It's completely vulnerable. Feels like all of a sudden you can't make it stop. Their sanity is lost. Paranoia. And people have no idea what even paranoia feels like anymore because they're so used to it. Energy. So again, let's go back to that letter. When I was watching this person, I knew the intent of the person was, you know what? I'm so done with this whole aspect. I'm just going to say, I'm not bowing down to you. I don't have to be nice to you. I'm sorry your ego was fragile and it got hurt. But I think it's important each of us have our own point. To me, I was a victim. And then I turned to God. I went inside and I said, okay, I have no idea how to do this. I'm going to take my energy back from her. And I am just going to say thank you. Thank you for taking this, helping it unfold, helping this person get out of my life. I leave it into your hands. Now, the universe has an order. I got a confirmation receipt that said, yep, you placed your order. It's in the mail. I said, thank you, Spirit. I know it's coming because I got the receipt. Tracking number, okay? And all of a sudden, all I heard was, you're going to be able to see their true colors. To the point where they would go into self-preservation, basically hanging themselves, getting caught in their own little tangled web. All I did was stand and just prayed. And I did not interfere with the process. I just said, thank you, Spirit. I'm trusting. Yes. Okay. I got my receipt. I didn't lose my intention. Yep. Everything's going to be okay. Because I know that happiness is my goal and that I no longer know how to do this. I let it go. Let Spirit help me. And within just a few weeks, it was all done. I mean, completely done. Within a few days, it all began. Within a few other days, it's unfolded. And again, people think that it's boom and done. No, sometimes you have to have unfoldment. Sometimes you have to intentionally choose to close. Doing a reading, I let your energy influence the mirror. I don't let it influence me unless I'm supposed to let it get my attention. I'm not quite getting it, like fine tuning, but I'm still in charge. So as I begin to look at it, I know that when I engage with other people, it is their will. Now, if I'm supposed to help, and I can feel that their soul said, yes, I'm not getting it, help me. Okay, I will step up into the arena and I will say, yes, Spirit, how do you want me to communicate? Let's please, if I'm going to do that, I kind of don't want to know because I don't know how to handle that emotion because I don't like to show up like an asshole. Because my soul raised and said, oh, I'll help you get over that hump, which means I'd have to be the asshole. I'll do it. Now, that's not an excuse for you to go out there knowing intentionally you want to hurt somebody. Not the same thing. When you begin to learn how to communicate with your energy, the energy into your space, learning about on a soul level, you'll be amazed how your EQ rises, how your actual and spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence and your mental intelligence are just as important as your intelligence, your IQ. You're spiritual, you are mental, you're emotional, and you're physical. And you really need to develop those areas of your life. Because when you don't, you get a life, a world like that, a collective conscious like that. Taking and becoming a spiritual human is learning how to get out of the matrix. And the matrix is when your ego begins to over-identify with that ego, when you're observing stuff, your soul self, who you really are, your authentic self begins to get lost. And the moment something happens, oh my God, to the reactions, oh, put them up, or to fight, flight, freeze, or completely in stress, anxiety can become sick. I didn't even know that that could happen. But one day my ex was saying, gaslighter said something, which then changes the thought process. Now, what happens? Again, do you need to over-identify and run? Do you? I don't think so. You don't have to anymore. There is a way out. You want to talk about hope. I want you to know when your energy starts to leave the room. Now, get back here. During a fight, you can feel that your body's programs, your physiology, your body's consciousness kicks in. All of the patterns, the strategies, and all that kicks in. And it's like, stop. Because the emotional intelligence, your spirit just getting a physical fit body. But to understand energy, emotions, the flow, the boundaries, you will be so surprised with yourself. I never want to go back. I don't need to go back. I choose to look at it and say it's on my choice. And when I do go back into all that, I know it's a program. And I spiritually can sit back and go, ooh, yuck. But I'm going to pay attention to every part of it because I'm not going to waste it. As soon as I get back to my original self, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to witness. No matter how ugly it looks, it made me look bad. You have to figure out those emotions because those emotions will hurt you. Those emotions will control you. Okay. Now remember, anybody in the room, if you're here, I am here for you too. You have to understand, if you think people like me, I'll give you the energy information. I'll read your energy and tell you what's going on. But can you handle what's being said? Can you hear it? Are you just hoping that, I get some good news out of the cards? Or please tell me what I only want to hear. I want you to grow. I want you to aim for that joy and happiness. And I want you to raise and get past all of your issues. I want you to resolve to evolve. So if you're looking for a reading, I don't have to look in the room and say, okay, I'll choose you. I'll choose you. You can choose yourself. You can step up and choose yourself. You literally can go in and say, I'm going to email right now. Because I choose me, and I know that if I email her, I'll get an answer. Oh, how about one step better? How about you want to pay to get attention? To say, wait a minute, we have a treasure chest. What's going to happen is that every time you pay, you get your name into the treasure chest to win a 15-minute free reading with me here on the show. That's a $45 value. Why? Well, why would you want it? I'd hope because you'd want it because you want to move, you want to heal, you want to grow, you want to know things about yourself. You want something. Thank you, Laura. She has emailed. Patty has emailed. Yes, wonderful. And other people have. It's going to happen. What question is that? All of a sudden I got a question coming in? When you worry and fear, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You feed it your life force energy out of that $100 you got. It's all you get is $100. You feed it. And when you run with that thought, you run with it faster. Did you know that there's tools like the OMG to put your hand here that actually begins to electromagnetically move the blood, move your energy so you can actually stop going into that next phase of hell? Oh, Carrie Ann, she's because you're honest and help where it really matters. Thank you. Yes, I want you to have joy. If you could see your soul like I see you, you're whole and you're beautiful. And when I see the divine blueprint of who you are and I see the blueprint you're running, I just want so much to say, hey, let's clear all that so that you can get back to who you really are. I would love for you to be happy and join us. But we get so caught up in those programs. It really does. Now, the beginning of April and some point, don't know if it'll be immediate, but just understand it's coming. And it'll take time for the unfoldment. This is where people get really confused. Well, it should be completely up and running. Well, it's not your schedule, it's Spirit's schedule. But we are putting together a unit, a group, the Medicine Woman Soultion tribal unit. And it will be a membership only. You're going to get opportunities to meet people that are just on this beginning on. Some of them have been on it for a year. Some of them have just been only a few weeks of intenseness. But the point is you can see the transformation. You can hear the language. You can learn the glossary, how to become a spiritual human, how to get in touch with your soul, how to understand your energies, how to, here's the biggest one, resolve to evolve the dark night of your soul. The transformation of understanding who you are, what you were, what controlled you, what are the triggers, what is the physiology, what are the symptoms, what is it all about? Why am I not able to run this meat suit the way I know I should, or run my life the way I know I could? I focus on pain. I focus on grief. I focus on loss. And you use the words of emotions to be able to speak your world, then you'll hear the mental chatter, the self-talk, that because those two understand, you feel, if you happen to be having an old pattern, an old program that you're in the matrix, then your body consciousness is going to kick off and all of a sudden you're going to fail first. You just don't know it. Low self-esteem actually feels like depression. Just let you know, if your body is upset, it'll tell you, but your body's constantly telling you that this symptom is this, but it's related to an emotion, it's related to a thought pattern. And when I reveal to people that this is what I see, they're like, yes, that's my life. And I say, how about we resolve to evolve that? Okay, how about that? There's a lot you can do. Oh, thank you, Crystal. And Crystal Allen has emailed as well. Mm-hmm. And again, the only way that we're going to make a difference in helping the world, you can move mountains, and you can. I'm not asking you to, I want you to find better for me. My ear's itching, and again, I'm trying to figure out what that's about. But if you can't afford me privately, which is here, you get, this is an incredible discount. I mean, this is my time with you. What else is there? So just understand, if you have, I can't email, it goes against my values. Just know that if you wait until the end of the show, then I will give that last call out if you want to wait until the end of the show. Now, please remember, hit the icons. So successfully and fun it was. I said, okay, whoever shares, Spirit is going to, from hitting the love button, the little icon, when you put it on your timeline, when you, do any of that, then I went through and Spirit says, okay, send a card to this one. They need it now. That card. So Spirit directs me who gets a card. Not all of you may get a card. Some of you may get a card. I was thinking this. So that's what Spirit wants to put back into what we're doing. It's very important. Very, very important. And there are times that when you start to feel sad, ask yourself, how old do I feel? And I'm not sitting going back, I feel like an old lady. No. What age do you feel? Because a lot of times people will start arguing. And all of a sudden I'll see, there's a 2-year-old. There's a 4-year-old. Oh, there's a memory of a 13-year-old. Oh my God, there's a 23-year-old. But then that's linked back to their 2-year-old. What am I doing? You have energy cords that come off of you. They're your history, your biology, and you're pointing itself out to show you that this is where you invested your energy. There's a root. Oh, over here is a root. This is where you invested your energy. And now you're into spiritual debt because every day you have to wake up and acclimate to the room you're in, with the people you're with, and then to your life so you don't feel like you're going crazy. Consciousness needs a home base. But we're moving also out of the negative mental attitude. Okay, we're moving into a positive mental attitude. I remember growing up when people would scream out, why are you so positive? There ain't nothing good in this world. Why are you doing that? You're crazy. Nobody else is. Or that's stupid. I don't understand what that means. But no, you shouldn't be teaching yourself that. And it's like, how's your life turning out for you? And all I know is that I'm happy every single day. No, it's not fake. I've taken that mask off. I've resolved my dark nights of the soul. I still have ways to go. And I've been doing this for over 30 years. And maybe you're just beginning, but you're worth it. I mean, every time you do something, it's worth it. Amy, would you just come on real quick with me and talk to me about this? No?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. Found me. And Spirit said, hey, here is a woman, okay, that I think that you guys are going to be, and we got to know each other, and she's like, oh yeah, my life's great. I love spirituality, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking, and Spirit says, now help her. I'm like, I don't want to look. Still need to talk to the thing that runs that meat suit. Come on now. And so, we got talking. She was like, oh yeah, I love all this stuff. And the next thing I know, she started on, we'll get to Sharon in just a moment. Now, you thought you had your shit together, and that spirituality, you had really gone far, haven't you?
I didn't know shit then.
But you thought you did. See, that's the thing.
I thought I knew, what I needed to know, but I didn't know nothing.
And she knew exactly what she needed to know. She was perfect right where she was at. But the point is, their soul says, oh, we're going to give her a spiritual evolution. We're going to take her to the new heights. So, I'm like, what? And they go, listen to her language, listen to the emotion. That's a good one. Okay, so then Spirit will say, so I say, hey, do you want to heal that? And she's like, heal that? Oh, okay. So she just started using the tools. And the next thing she knows, what happened? Oh, I said, so you were able to measure and feel the difference? Yeah. It's like, where'd the shit go? Wait a minute, that's been my whole life.
Yeah, it's amazing how healing the different emotions out changes your perspective on life, on this coronavirus. I mean, yeah, it's there, but we're gonna make it through.
Yeah, and how we do anything is how we do everything. And medically draw it to you. How much do you want? And the thing is the more you laugh, it sets off the immune system to help the body. The more you take your power back from all of the dark hell that you're going through, helps the immune system balance. And you have the capability, and you walk through it, you pick that shit up. And I will tell you, and then you can get sick. Now, I will tell you, I've gone into many things where all of us support. Okay, real quick, that was it. Okay, what will happen is that you have to clean up this energy field. I have walked through other people's stuff, their nightmares, their fears, and it's like as soon as I realize like it's not mine, I have to let that go. I don't have to run with it the next thought. I was, and that's what we have to pay attention to, is that you can be easily influenced. And I said, I looked at her and says, oh, you're not Amy. You are so-and-so. And she goes, I'm what? I said, yes, you morphed into so-and-so. She goes, so she looks down. No, I don't have an extra appendage. Okay, so it's that's not what you mean. But I can physically feel this. I emotionally can feel this. Oh my God, it's disgusting. I said, no, that's their world. To them, that's normalcy. Get it out, change it out, protect yourself, increase the love, increase the laughter, get your immune system back up. And yes, you're going to learn to create healthy boundaries. And she had. I mean, now she knows exactly, oh, hold on. My name is Amy. My name. She says it 3 times, starts to own herself, tells herself a joke, whatever she needs to do, but she's got to feel, she can start to feel her energies. Yeah, I'm Amy again. Okay, I can do this. Okay, she's getting better at it. It's faster. And then when people come in, she don't really have to lose it. But now she's looking at the dark night of the soul. Why do I always want to crack a mean joke when that butt shit? But she knows that every time she cracks it and she heals it and she resolves it. Sometimes, I mean, she didn't even know that a person was in her house because she didn't pick up their stench. She didn't pick up and vibrate like them. And then she walked into, wow, she goes, oh. So she has to develop this other thing of having her extra sensory to tell her when somebody's in her space without having to freak out. She's learning. That happened today.
Happened today. I've trained him now to come in the back door because he goes on and checks the basement because I get water. And I was sitting in my chair watching a video on YouTube, and all of a sudden I look up. Holy shit!
See, and that's good because her energies, she's not losing it. Now, we do a lot of putting our energies out there because we're fearful all the time. But again, she's going to learn all these different things. So you have been on this trip for a while. And again, I like how you said, do you feel like you have to go into all that negative self-talk, well, it was me, blah, 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 or has that calmed down too?
It's calmed down just in the last week.
And do you feel like you have to feel a need, a sensation, a craving to any of that?
No.
And the people that were in your space when you first started out, you loved them dearly. And you can't imagine ever to live without them. Then as you begin to look inward, heal your inner world, and your outer world started to reflect more of your joy, they wake up and go, wait a minute, wow, where'd they go?
Pretty much, wow, where'd they go? Yeah, I mean, I still miss the baby, but who wouldn't miss a baby? But it's the cuddles that I miss. But I mean, it's not like I need them in my space anymore like I did in the beginning.
And so you can really tell the difference.
Oh, yeah.
And so would you say that you're more happier?
Oh, definitely.
Do you feel like you're more independent and full and complete?
Yes.
because before she had things happen, and she has to learn her parameters. And as she begins to do this now, again, we're going to be taking it at the pace that you choose. The more that you start to see the glossaries of life, you understand what you're looking at and really get it. I mean, like, I will see conversations and Amy will be talking and it'll be of spirit language, and where she's using the interjection and no out of that. Yeah, you physically may be feeling like, oh my God, but at the same time, your spirit says, okay, do this, this, and this. So the turnaround time will be faster. You'll have, but you're getting it, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh, did you see that? That
Good.
bizarre. Okay.
Is it still hooked in your ear?
Yeah. So not sure who undid my earring. It had a nice back on it. So we're gonna just thank you for giving us a moment. So tell me, pick a card real quick, and then we're gonna go into our first person that's paid. I really feel lopsided.
Facade.
So that's the third chakra. Isn't it?
Okay. Key ideas. Disassociating from self, reclaiming your life, healing childhood pain. Keywords: recovery, integration, and play.
Wow, it sounds like everything we just said today.
And I have been playing a little bit more lately.
Oh my God, really? Because see, your hearing aids, you can't really play music or any of that because they bothered you, or do the meditation, I should say. So your frequencies are changing and you're singing more? Is that what I heard?
I'm playing.
You're playing. That's huge. Because okay, hold on. Now I've got to ask, because see, her artsy fartsy stuff is awesome, and that's one way of consider playing. What do you mean you're playing more, real quick?
Well, the little girl that I was watching last year, groceries for the last time before lockdown, I got her little outfit. And then I unbraided her hair and rebraided her hair. And
so you're getting in touch with your inner child. And how is she doing these days besides being lonely?
A whole lot better.
And you really can feel that inner child. And you know what's... Go ahead.
We watched Frozen 2 last night.
Oh, God, lucky you. And it's important to understand that inner child needs love. And when we begin to do inner child work, you'd be amazed at how all of a sudden when you get to meet her and all of a sudden you're like, oh, she's scared in the corner. Well, how about if we actually start mothering, start giving her the healing tools so she can use them? So that's an absolute wonderful thing to hear. You know, and again, you don't want to just go out and play. You can in the beginning because it may sound funky and foreign, but at the same time, it's not like you're going to be playing all the time like a little kid, but it's allowing parts of yourself to start to become whole again. And you'll know it because then there'll be a little bit of a completion. And then let's say all of a sudden she puts that down on the shelf and never touches again. But every time she walks by, she's going to have that touch of joy that's going to go towards herself. So that's huge. That's completely huge. And the idea is also playing by yourself instead of always having to feel that I have to have somebody else to complete me. That's different too. That's good. Good job. Okay. So I'm assuming that Miss Sharon has paid, and I got to quickly, we making her wait. And as she sits in the waiting room, it's dark in there, which means you don't know who's, it's like you're waiting do for your turn. So hopefully we will get to see all that has paid. And yet again, when you pay and you get on, you can come on just like this with Amy, or you can be in the corner like Amy is going to be just now. And Amy, we still can hear you. If I want, well, you can. So yes, Miss Gordon has paid, and let's get going on this.
It's not that scary, people.
Hi, Sharon. Can you hear me okay? Thank you for waiting.
Hi.
Hi. Is it okay to make you nice and big with me?
Sure.
Nice.
Had the day off today. Hey.
So yeah, you were working all that time, and now you got the day off. What can we help you with?
Let's see. You were talking about kind of like fighting, something like that. I fight with myself.
Okay. Yes.
Like when I need to get stuff done, like I know I have, for example, I have to finish cleaning out my kitchen cupboards, rearrange them, and do something with the excess things I have and put them in a different space to make it more livable. How can I get past that?
Good. Good. I love that question. Now, here's the thing: is our brain. I don't want to say our brain. Never mind that. Our subconscious mind is waiting for a go. Go do it. Okay. But when we don't give ourselves the permission to do it, or we don't feel the motivation to do it, understand if you have to talk negative to yourself, that means you have to force yourself to do something. Okay, so I'm going against myself. So when I look at the thing that you want to do you want to do it? You're like, no. So notice the other part of your self-talk. So is there a part of you that says, I can't play, I can't do? And then you come home and you use the same word, work or chores or whatever your trigger word was when you're a kid, then you got to remember. So when she starts fighting with herself, get up and do this, her 10-year-old self is saying, come on, do it. And her little self, her 4-year-old self says, I don't want to do it. I don't have to do it. I can sit here all day. So she's arguing between her 4-year-old and the 10-year-old program. And the programs, who's going to win? The 4-year-old wins.
Why?
Hence, that's why my house is still there. Okay, so I'm going to look. Was there any type of traumas or any of that make you have to have your house a certain way? Actually, no. All right, so it's just the battle of the will for you. So how come she's unable to go through it? They said, well, it's your form of that. You know what overbearing. And this is what's called mirror neurons, and that your mirror conscious, you mirror the conscious of life. So when you were growing up, did you see people overbearing to you to get you to do things?
Probably. If you don't do this, you don't get this. But that's normal.
Okay. Now,
what I think is normal.
Correct. Like disagreement. I hate that. And those are the programs that really affect. Doesn't matter if the mother was really nice or she had to step and really be overbearing. What I can tell you is, have you had overbearing relationships in your past?
Yeah, with males.
With males. Yeah. Okay. Chances are you might have had what you saw is mirror neurons. You saw that's how relationships are supposed to be. Maybe that's what I'll have to have. And they said, yeah, we got quite a bit of that. Your 3-year-old believes that. But what causes you not to get up and to do it is your 4-year-old self. Well, so that means we're going to look at the 4-year-old self. Your 4-year-old self is petrified that it's not going to be able to do what it loves to do. Your 4-year-old believes it's the severed love. The one thing about a child is this. Every children are little narcissistic boobs, okay? It's all about them. Me, 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 me. Okay, well, come on. They're a baby, of course. They're just learning how to communicate, talk. And the first 7 years of their life, they are downloading programs into who they are to be, what do they want to be. And then there is this built-in narcissistic thing of behavior. Okay, they can focus. Really, I want that particular outcome, and I'm not going to let go. I don't care how much you beat me of you. And now it's like we're returning more to love, and to see that these aspects are more of us. So when that happens, we're raising children differently, but it still goes down to a child will want a particular outcome, because over time, every person that has a child wants to raise their children better than they were raised. Not to say that the mother or the father that raised them, they were bad. It's just that's how you develop consciousness. It's changing the different realms of consciousness. Okay. You, my dear, had a great childhood? We don't know. You do. But then there are programs that said, okay, this is where I didn't want to give up. This is where I didn't want to give in. Now I'm going to set the timer now. I've given all that other time because I wanted to teach. So here we go. You have a habit that comes out of that 4-year-old self that gets hysterical. So that means you pitched a fit. Now that's that child that wants a particular thing. Okay? How does that affect you cleaning your house? If it firmly believes with 1,000% that I'm not going to get what I want, okay, habit in the field, which is what you're changing. In order to change that habit, you have to get out of being petrified that you're going to lose it. You go clean that space. I want more organization. The child in you slothfully goes and sits down. What does she get to do? Whatever she wants. Does she zone out? What does she do?
Usually does something else, like watch a
She's doing anything she wants to do at her time.
Yeah.
So now I have to ask, so have you always felt like you always had to do what other people wanted? Yes. So now you're at the age where part of you is like, I don't have to do what you want. Literally, you are throwing a tantrum to yourself. But it's based on being petrified. And as I honestly look at that child and say, honey, what are you really petrified about? And she says, well, I'm very, oh, hold on. What's she trying to say? I need to self-justify. You need to, hold on. She says, I'm used to people working me to do what they want. They'll self-justify why they need me to do it. They will tell me in good reasons and using excuses to use their energy to influence me. It is the energy of how they influence me that makes me do it. I don't have that with anymore. She doesn't have the energy to influence me, so I influence her. That makes payback. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Oh my God, that's interesting. So as I'm looking, she said, so really? So I severed those connections. She says, how, I speak it like it is completely like she's, you didn't develop another character. I'm listening to your different ages, which are still alive in the spiral of energy. I want people to get this clear. She doesn't have no DID. She's not any of that. It's just like you and me. We have different ages that are programs that run her. So this program is that's my identity, was that I always felt somebody had to work me. I always had to live their way. Is that true? If you didn't live their way, you could get hurt.
They were in trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
Like at work.
See? Okay, so it's still playing out. And they said the best way for you to do that was to sever the connections with these energies of people by disconnecting your heart. Okay? And because all she says is that I saw love equals pain. Love equals conditioning. Okay? Do as you're told. Now you have other parts of you that are fighting. And your 19-year-old self, like, I know I want to do this, organize this, but she doesn't know how to get her heart in sync. You don't know how to get your heart in sync with what you really want. Your heart. And like, for instance, invite the little girl. How should we fix this? And this energy in this room, I want to change that and just start to feel with that. What inspiration feels like. Yes. All right. So like when great motivation, like the motivation to come on. Did you feel that? You're like, oh, I want to get on there. I want to talk to Brenda. Just capture onto you. Oh yeah. And the next thing you know, what will happen is that you'll start getting grand ideas. She can help you. If she likes to do something, let's do this. Integrate all of you. Just know if you're in your head, start coming to your heart. Okay? Looking for people to tell you how to live. And
yeah.
So the best thing is if you can bring your hand to your heart and learn to say toward yourself, when I want to do something, I feel that joy. Okay, get that joy. Oh yeah, I remember when I wanted to get on and talk to Brenda today. Yeah, I felt pull that motivation, and then once you've got it, look at the thing that you want. Now, sometimes our egos won't let us. All you then do is make sure you write it on a piece of paper. Okay, buy the motivation or the feeling to buy that unicorn stone, or talk to Brenda, or as you're staring at it. Oh yeah, take that motivation and you kind of imagine that you're putting it on those words, and the next thing you know, your right brain should start to download information, and your left brain should start all of a sudden saying, yeah, okay. And then your yin and yang, as you're bringing it through, your yang is going to say, let's do it. And then you're going to create a whole new balance. So you have to practice and build this up, because you have to override a habit, but you have to catch when you're doing the habit. I don't care if it's 10 minutes after, 2 hours later. Say, wait a minute, I'm just going to practice this. We don't need to beat myself up because I didn't do it today. But I give myself permission to feel the motivation, do exactly, what I said, get into fine tweaking it for you, your way, your words, and more influenced. Okay. And you'll use more of your intuition and your heart and your gut to be able to do what you need to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
And please do it and then report back to me, because I'd love to know. I really would. I really, really would. And I appreciate you as always, my dear. And just know that I love you, and you have a great day. Okay.
Thank you. Stay blessed.
Stay blessed, hon. Well, that was wonderful. So that was a little different as far as to look at healing. And I'm all for it, because I've done that too. It's all about energy. It's all about how we talk to ourselves, how we look at things. So if again, that's one way. And her name. Oh, and by the way, Sharon, your name is in the hope chest. So now you're in for the drawing. And the more times that she did it. So now I think she's got 3 or 4 she's already done. So her name's in there like 3 or 4 times. I can't even remember now. It's an awesome thing. Now, healing can be done in different ways. She just got to discover on a very deep level what was going on, how her energies work together, and not usually in a good way. So what we're going to do, again, remember, the more you hit the heart button, okay, so if you hit it already, you don't have to do it. We'll pick out who to send the cards to. So you have a chance to get some cards coming your way. And when you get those cards, believe it or not, it can actually be at the perfect timing, because that's usually how spirit works. Hello, Jennifer. And Sharon, I deeply appreciate you. I really do. Oh, there's Marie. So let's take, and since nobody else has paid, let's take our first 1 minute, our email.
TP.
Ah, wonderful. Now, if you have a question, you may ask, or it could just be something that I look at. So, whoops, got to get the right button here. For TP, you're petrified about something, that energy, and you're in the oh my God state. I don't know if you're aware of this, and you're compelled to behave and compelled to act a certain way. And they said that notice how awkward was what it set it off. Now, this energy, is it yours? Was it influenced from the outside? Was it influenced by a human, by TV, by a video, So notice that the energy, TP, that has influenced you, that what I just said, and it tipped off all those buttons. And it's the idea of having to be paid attention to. It's kind of scary. So you don't know if you want energy to really be pointing at you and paying attention to you. There's a part of you that little girl that wants out and says, pay attention to me. And there's another part of you that, no, because I already know the pain that's going to come. So that program, that little program, your 2-year-old self says we can't, but your 8-year-old self says, it's about damn time I do this because I want joy. Yeah, I would say start to do that motivation of what love is. And when you receive love, and start applying it to.
Please, I think you are extremely gifted and guided. And the guidance you provide is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Oh, thank you. So she's understanding the value. That's beautiful. And her name was, again, just so that we clearly, Laura H. Yes, so she was the one that's, so I thought, just want to make sure I got it correctly. Hey, Kathy. All right, so here we go. Ooh. What's interesting, criticism. You weren't even in the line of fire, but somehow your body says, okay. So electromagnetically, you don't have the barrier up, and what was going on in the space. I don't know if you were reading a book or what you were doing, or if it was in a TV, whatever. There was an emotional component of criticism, and your first three chakras are like, oh, I recognize that. And so it brought in the familiarity, which then started to draw the energy to you. And without realizing it, it began to affect processing, kind of put you in a little panic. And you are feeling that stabilization, feeling a little bit I have to finish this, but what happened, Laura, is that says that you had a very strong experience. This was just a trigger, but the strong experience was so stored in the body. And this is when you were 1 year old and you were in the space when there was criticism going on, and you ended up absorbing it, and it feels like it's you. Now, this is not the same as mirror neurons where you're copying. It literally came in and sat into the body. And if I ask where, they're saying it was more or less just above, right here where my hand is. This is where I feel it the most, and it reverberates. And what it does is it kind of puts you into, there's like erratic energies. It could feel like anxiety. It could feel like panic. But it's erratic energies. And what happens is that you physically may be feeling something that you can't understand. Okay. So those ones you got to be careful of, because those are the ones you go to the doctor for and they haven't found anything. So your trigger is that when the best thing for you, Laura, okay, so if you're going to try to heal it yourself, there's a lot of avenues. The best way would go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com. Look at treasure chesting. The treasure chest method of pulling out, okay, it's all the steps are there, and you can begin to take it out. Now, we are going to also have the tribal unit, the Medicine Woman Solution tribal unit, that paid membership. We're going to be doing little things. I'll put on like a 1 month, within a 1 month, like put up a healing tool and talk you through it, walk you through it. So you get more of a hands-on idea of what it is. And we can put you on a Zoom aspect where we can have 5 to 10 people, and we could all work on, a particular thing of healing at the same time. Different things like this. So be on the lookout for these things. Okay. And remember to zip up afterwards, because you don't need, or hook up, so you don't need to lose it. All right. Who is next?
Crystal Allen, and she wrote me early this afternoon, but I had to get confirmation.
Oh, okay.
Again, said, "Hi Brenda, this is Crystal. I could really use your help right about now. There's something here in my room right now."
I'm just going to refer to it as a goober that is there presently. But what happens? All right, so you have been good at self-punishment. Notice there's something going on inside of you that draws this energy to you. And they said that you do self-punishment. It is also, that's how you get attention. Has feelers. It's what's tentacles in your defense mechanism. We put up a defense. Sometimes we have a porcupine defense where energy's shooting out. We have sometimes a beside ourselves feeling, withdrawal energy. These are what our body does. One of the things yours does, instead of going in, your energy goes out, but creates tentacles. Okay. These tentacles are for you to understand that it's looking for erratic energies, so you will not get hurt again. This is based on your 2-year-old self, because it's known what it's been like. Now, as I'm looking, go in the right. Okay, so we don't want to go there. Do it for the right reason. Okay, reasons. Okay, so there's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind it. That's what they're pointing out. When I'm looking a little bit further, You're pulling in other fear entities. Now, what happens again? If you are a magnet, so if your type of thinking is happening, you're a magnet. So energies will begin to influence. There are people energies, there are emotional energies, there are thought form energies, and there are fear entities. These are the things we start to label that get more attention, get more life form. They're not real, but they are real. Depending on how much we feed it, they'll become more real. So by noticing it, you take your power off it. And by healing the little things inside of you of how you do it or how much it feels that it's real, you start doing EFT to disrupt the energy cords, disrupt the belief, disrupt the emotions. Then your body won't have to morph into that energy field. You will then start to, I don't care if you're real, and you just start tapping it out, disrupting the energy. What will happen is then you'll start putting up a barrier. It'll start cutting off so you don't have to feed them. And it's not that you don't have to believe in them. It's just that I'm not, yes. See, I believe I know these things exist, but I don't have to feed them. You understand? I don't have to take my thoughts and my emotions and create an influence, and then it becomes coming back so I can collect proof. No, we got to cut that off, okay? The best way to do that is you need to tap in your field, tap, emotional freedom technique. Go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com because you need to get these to not have power over you. You have to have power over them, and that is the best way to do it, okay? That is the best way to do it. And just because it's happened doesn't mean you need to tell the story 1,000 times and then so it keeps feeding them. They're going to get you to believe it. Take your power, measure your feelings, and 10 is the worst. And when you keep your hand there, and if you can't do anything else, you're making the blood come back up to your forebrain. So it stops you from going into fight, flight, freeze mode. It actually literally begins to calm you down because then you can swish out all of the chemical peptides that are in charge and can help you bring balance to those hormones. Okay? And now the reason I went over is because I wanted people to understand that it's huge. It's not an easy thing to talk about, but it is very important. You are still quite in charge of your reality. I'm going to look and see if anybody's paid. And we have, hey, Catherine. All right, Catherine, if you've paid, number one, you get to get your name in the hope chest for the drawing. Number two, it expedites you to surpass all of the free things. It's not that it's unfair. It's that she has exchanged energy to do this. So, Catherine, we would like you to know, do you want to come into the room? And then you can come to the room. When you get here, I'll ask whether or not you want to be seen, or you can just be standing in the corner like Amy's doing right now. Or we can do it like this, which is there until we can understand. Yeah. So as we wait, Sharon says, hey, she says Rhododendron, I'm going to say it right, started it wrong. There's this beautiful stone, the rhodochrosite. I'm totally saying it wrong. Everybody else knows how to say it. Unicorn. It's so beautiful. It stands about that high. It's this gorgeous pink and grays and whites unicorn. And the stone meaning means relationship, compassion, blessings, love, and joy. I was going to bring the unicorn on with me. Next time we'll have to do that. I smiled when you mentioned, yeah, because I could feel like that is something that's very important to you. Okay, so you want to do it like this. Okay, that is fine. What would you want to talk to? Now, did she email so that we know what she want to talk about, or do we want to wait until she tells us? Or because I can pick up, and even if you're not sure, your soul always knows what it wants to talk about. So it's not anything I don't need to talk about. Spirit will find something. But if you nothing? Okay. So when you, but if you have something on your mind and you want to know what direction you're going through Facebook, is opening up to other rooms. I don't know what that means per se. It could mean that, see, I'm getting different names over here. I can't tell if other people are jumping on, and that's going to be the hardest thing. Because if they're asking for a reading, this is why we say email. And I won't be able to see some of your comments until I read them afterwards. But no worries, is that whatever room you're in and you've hit the love button and it stays up there. And if you've shared, it will come onto my feed and you still have a chance to get a card. No matter what room you're in and you don't think I see you, just doing those two things, it's not that you're going to get a card. You could get a card. You get a chance where you could actually win a free card coming to your email. I think that'd be an awesome idea.
Email, you're guaranteed to get a reading. Whereas just putting it in the feed.
Yeah. Yeah. If you put it in the feed, this group going, then that's always important because Spirit will end up rewarding you in some form because it's about making sure movement occurs. So here we go. Catherine just says this. And so here we go. Oh, that's wrong. Push the right button. Here we go. Catherine. Now, what's funny is I have two things running in my head. I fear I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life, and the other one is indifferent. So how many voices do we have? We have two voices within ourselves, so that sometimes our self-talk continuously ends up acting a certain way. Okay, let's address a fear of going to be alone. It is to your 2-year-old self, and it's towards yourself. And when I ask, what do you mean towards the self? It means that I feel numb. Well, what do you have to get off your chest? And they said, well, it's the habitual fear of, I don't know what to do. So your 2-year-old self doesn't know what to do. So if I'm looking at what is it you don't want to do, the energy is towards her. I don't know what to do. It's like you told yourself, I don't know what to do. And therefore, when you do that to yourself, you're really not sure how to communicate with the energy out there. You just know that that's an order for you. It's like that feels familiar to you. Notice that's an order. It's like, call me, don't know what to do. So you have to go into that feeling of those words to make sense of this is what's called a pattern. Okay. It's not just, I don't know what to do. It is, what that particular command is. It's like when your parents tell you, don't do that. Okay. Now, knowing this, Spirit says it is part of your habit, the dark night of the soul habit that's going to keep repeating until you stop engaging in it. You start noticing the pattern. You're saying you're done and you're moving forward of going, oh my God, that is a pattern. I do that every time. You need to disrupt it. You got to change the strategy. You got to change the way the energy is facing you and say, no, I need to take my power off of that. And I no longer need to create that response. And now, as I'm communicating with that inner child, my teeth began to hurt. And all I could hear was criticism. Why can't you be more like your, such and such? But this criticism, you want feedback to grow. Sometimes when we compare, it can hurt because intentionally they really want you to be someone else because they don't like who you are, and that begins to hurt. But if you get feedback and you apply it to business, it affects your choice. So this whole thing right now is affecting your choice of how to speak, how to act, how to be. So then you've learned to develop, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I hear it. This is how I'm going to dish it out. So if that's part of your world, you're asked to grow from this. Yes, it may be part of your job. It may be part of what you need to do, but you now have to bring in the spiritual aspect of it instead of being in the ego aspect of it. This is where you have to transform. Like somebody that jokes, if they're using antagonizing as part of the joke and then they're growing, what will happen is that the antagonizing, they won't know they're doing it. They won't see it as a joke. They won't know it. But yet if it happens to them, they can know it and they can feel it. So that's part of a cycle that you're meant to go through. Okay, Catherine? Pay attention. I need to know whether or not everybody's hearing me. They said the main thing that this is your child aspect of you is that You develop this way of communicating because when you began to first receive that that criticism, you don't know what to do with that. You then end up towards yourself of taking it personal. And what happened then was that you developed a way to not make it hurt because you don't want to be vulnerable. Okay. So going a little bit deeper, we don't want to be vulnerable. So you know what vulnerability feels like. And they say that vulnerability, the feeling of vulnerability, is that erratic energy. Now, how you overcome that is that not only do you pull up your panties and say, okay, I put on my big girl pants and I'm going to do this. Now, notice my face is starting to change color right here. Okay, so notice that my whole structure of my face. So it's changing the way you face reality. It's changing the way that you face things. And it is, you put on this facade, and it says, to be something, I have to be something, but I have to do it out of sympathy. Okay. But you're like, nope, not going to let that happen. So now you've got another age of 6 years old of like, I'm going to suppress that feeling and I'm going to be more stronger. So I feel like, so the mirror neurons watched how relationships communicated back and forth. And you're like, this is how I'm going to do it. So you learn how to communicate. Now you're asked at the age you are, where you're at spiritually, it's time to raise the emotional quotient, which is the emotional intelligence. And they're saying that you need to look at the emotion that got repressed, and it had to do with the way that you thought. And when it became very cloudy, you suppress that because that cloudy thinking is I don't know what to do. And you suppress that and you basically became stronger, but you still have the root of the child that's coming through. This is why you constantly are seeing this energy with people going back and forth. So you have to face this. Now, the spiritual intelligence is that you have to begin to notice that it's going to be okay for you to go into a state of confusion, uncomfortability, because that's when you're kind of like stepping out of your comfort zone and you are beginning to learn and to feel. Now, you don't have to do that alone. You literally can use a tool to take care of those emotions and those feelings so that you can have a smoother transition to raising your mental intelligence will already start to rise from those alone. Okay, so you may have to, EFT would work, but you have to look at what's going on toward yourself. And I want you to hold left wrist first position. Put your thumb in nice and deep. Okay. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate you and can't wait to find out how life's going for you. Okay. Hopefully good. All right. Who's next, my dear?
Angela Allen.
You are adjusting from what I can feel. You had done a healing. Woo! You had this great high. Your inner child's like, wow, this is the best I've ever felt. You're moving forward. Now we're moving in a state where you are having to take that next step because the collectiveness is changing. The conscious collectiveness is changing. And so now the emotional intelligence is that we're going to look at the emotion that would cause you to feel emotionally unstable. And they said that we're going to address the 4-year-old in you that has forced to give up your expectations. Okay. Whoa, Jesus. I just, when you're on a roller coaster, whoa. Okay, Miss Angela. God, just give me a second. Holy mother. Oh. So we know it's tied in physiology to your digestive system. Oh, okay. If you happen to go through this, put 3 fingers, either wrist, both wrist actually, down by the 4th one and find that button. And you need to get the roller coaster. If you start to feel funny, get the roller coaster under control. And then again, like it's 3 fingers, take it to the 4th. And then when you're done, go up to this one. And get that, the right side is gnarly. Okay, now I'm back. You're learning to break that next stuff that's coming up. And there's a whole, it's formed, it's there, it's at the root of the physical sensations or the particular pattern. So now you're just going to start becoming aware of that adventure. And it could just, because of the fact you've worked before, you just may have a smooth transition and you may not need to do it. But pay attention to the thoughts, because you're raising your emotional intelligence. And that is to take and address the emotion and heal that out. Okay. Woo, man. Okay. So tell me, as I get my power back and change the whole aspect, yeah, my little Tretz moment. Who is next?
Linnell. Linnell Padilla.
Okay.
I would love a free reading, please.
All right.
I believe she's new.
Excellent. We love when we have newbies, because I don't remember that. You know what? Because she's a newbie, I'm going to go a little longer. Hello, Marissa. Hello. Oh, thanks for the email. You guys really do care and love yourself. I am so proud of each and every one of you when you take yourself serious. It is important. Let's try the situation. Spirit says, okay, good. It's learning to understand about pleasure. Okay. And now we're going to go a little bit further. Tell me more about about it. And they said, towards herself, you're petrified to receive. No. 1 year old. Yeah, I would be petrified, was I going to say too. So it's the natural thing that a human does with the pleasures of themselves. And what happens is that you, I think, believe, because I think you probably were one of those children that it was just a natural thing, there is an impending doom that's occurring. Okay, what is this impending doom feeling? Is that it was received at that age, and therefore it has a bad connotation that certain pleasures, enjoyment of whether it is physically, mentally, emotionally, doom, and go through all these little things, and it can be a bit scary because you're not sure why this happens. Okay, understand that this is like an installed emotion, and it's a habit that you're afraid of. This is before, during, after the lack of control, that you lack of control, and that you won't be able to control yourself, or you won't be able to, I keep hearing the word force myself to do what they want. So you might have creative insecurity when it comes to wanting something to have good results. There's always going to be the hiccup. That's what I see. It's so quiet in the room. What I'm curious is that I don't know if my thing's frozen. Oh, see a little heart. Thank you, Betty. And then TP, yeah, but somehow it is not moving. So I don't know if people are in the room. My screen, I don't know if it froze. Well, my face froze. But go ahead.
I clicked out to go to YouTube and then came back to the regular Facebook page, and I had no comments.
Well,
now I see is Teresa, Catherine, Jeanette, and Catherine.
All right. What I need to do is I'm going to go out. Now I see Betty, I see TP helping, which is great. Yeah. Okay. So it froze. I mean, I don't think it froze. Oh, Betty answered. Yay. Here. We are just quiet right now. Okay. Thank you. Okay. You never know, Betty. Did you even get that comment? No. Do you understand it? Okay. Do you need more information? It's all about teaching, teaching. I would really like to know how the screen looks, because I really would. Yeah, hey, I know that one. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? So it's the feedback. I'm getting more feedback on YouTube, which we're thankful for. And I'll be so curious. Okay, so who's the next person? Being good, quiet students. Oh, Amanda, that was cute. Okay.
Speak of the devil. It's Amanda.
Oh, no. Speak of the angel. It's Amanda. So the old phrase was, oh, look at that. So good timing, Amanda. So your reading's next. Ready?
She says, any message for me? Feeling heavy and frustrated. Like my wheels just keep spinning and I'm going nowhere. Thank you.
Ooh. All right. Say it again because I got to get keywords said. Do it again.
Feeling heavy and frustrated. Like my wheels just keep spinning and I'm going nowhere.
Okay. No, that's what I thought I heard. Okay. So, Amanda, interestingly enough, is that Spirit says that you take on other people's, like, are you a type of person that has to help, has to do these things? Like, for instance, if somebody has a lesson to learn, you kind of help them out, but then they expect you to do it. What will happen is they said, this is where energetically we can take on other people's karma. That's great of you, but at the same time, it's not going to help you. It actually literally will cause you to feel like you've got weights on yourself. When you got to start to begin to train yourself, because they said, well, you started doing that at 5 years old and you felt the need that you have to help and that you could see. Now, the beautiful part of your gift was that you could see where they needed to learn their lesson or they needed to balance out that karma. So now it's time to upgrade. Oh, heck with you. I'm going to answer. It's time for you to upgrade and begin to notice, because this new collective consciousness is all about everybody owning their own power and issues. I'm definitely a helper. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a little bit more, Amanda. Everybody listen. We're out of the blue zone. There's colors fell. Blue was the mother, the helper. The green is more about, I forgot to read my own article that I put up. Aspect was what role, like for me, part of me is I fractured myself because they didn't love who I was. But if I was a helper and a giver and a mother and a rescuer, then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, we love you. And that will accept you because that's the role in the family. And I was the peacemaker, I was whatever, and that was blue energy. I mean, you probably found a lot of people that love the color blue. But we're moving into the green now. It's like the whole planet has this color of green. And the aspect of green we'll get more into. So that will affect people's life theme colors. We all have a different life theme color. Sometimes we have two. You don't want more than that because they will bring their issues with them. And you're like, holy shit. Why is my life so hard? Well, how many life theme colors did you take on? Well, I took on 2, but I'm doing pretty good because I'm learning how to develop my spiritual intelligence, my emotional intelligence, and my mental intelligence, and my physical intelligence. And because I can do that, then it can change my inner world, changes my outer world. Physical intelligence is not just all about eating the right foods and the right frequency and the right exercise. It does need all those things, but we don't like to list it. But the physical intelligence also is understanding about how emotions are given and receiving, about karma, about being responsible for the energy in your room, or are you trying to take your energy and influence the will of others? There's nothing wrong with putting the energy into your space and holding space for yourself. You've heard of that, how we could hold the space for others. Amanda says, oh my God, I do that all the time. Always offering help or taking on stuff to help. See, and now, Amanda, with the green color, it's going to be more of a karmic issue. So, we can love and help, but we have to let those fall, those develop, because Spirit always tells me about the prince and the king. So the king says, he saw the prince fall. No, don't get up. That's what your servants are for. And so then everybody takes on their roles. So the servants had to watch him all the time and pick him up when he fell, that, through time. So now he's 18 and he's fallen. And he won't get up for himself because he hasn't trained his brain that he can do it for himself. Now he's going into great despair because his servants are around. Nobody's around. Nobody's there to save him. And then he goes into pending doom and lost the ability. This is why we're coming back to how the coronavirus is helping us understand that we have to get into this state of knowing how to adapt, be creative, become back to that creative will to get the marriage between the yin and yang so they can work together. Okay? We need to come back to that aspect that we can do this. And then, he's there, and finally he gets this epiphany that other people have fallen and gotten up. And then he made it a game. He thought it was quite creative that he could do this. And then the next time he fell, his dad says, no. And he goes, Dad, look what I can do. And then it took the generation from the king to not, wasn't proud of him. He was like, what are you doing? You're going against tradition. That's not how we do it. And we're all beginning to learn again. Okay, so Amanda, you're in a beautiful position right now, but you're going to end up fighting yourself because, good God, I love doing things for my husband. And so one day I'm looking at that fractured part that I've been healing, the dark night of my soul that I'm looking at, and some toast. And, I'll just make him some toast. And then I hear inside, do you do it because you love him? Yes. And then I heard another voice, but I don't really want to make toast. Well, when did you start making toast? Now, I learned to have a conversation with myself outward so that I can hear all of the 41 thoughts per minute. And so I will record it and then listen to it later. And I was hearing a conversation of how my little girl felt that the only way that at the same time, there are things that I didn't want to always be a helper. It got to the point where it went to the other extreme. Well, since you're up, hey, you're not doing anything, do that. And it became so unbalanced that I was being taken advantage of. So I started to notice the two extremes and I thought, toast for my husband? I don't have to. Now, have to is like a guilt trip or forcing, because there's shame, there's guilt, there's another emotion that pushes it, or it's a belief system I have to, or I'm not going to get any attention. Can you hear how these thoughts work? And because me or accepted, he said, well, that's not true, and I'm looking and I'm not sure how to feel about this stages. Sometimes you forget, and God love him. Next thing I know, I started to work through it and I just wanted to cry because that one part of me is that I love my husband so much. I want to do this. But then that little girl says, well, you have to, or you're not loved. And I'm like, okay. So I had to go in and do some inner child work, and I'm learning to build my core back up so that I can be more me instead of my programs. I hope that wasn't too long of a story, but I hope you get the gist of it. I want to show you how ego works, how we function as humans, how we go in and out of not even really being in this meat suit and operating the way we would like to. Oh, Amanda says, I think I do it because that's the part of how I believe everything you say. But if you begin to hear how to do within spiritual investigation, which is some upcoming class, then you're going to hear it with your spiritual mindset instead of with your ego, which fucks everything up. Excuse my language. Amy, who is next, my dear?
Michelle.
Oh, Amanda, she appreciates the story. Thank you. Made sense. I love it. Michelle. Hey, Diana. How you doing, dear? Oh, driving home from work. Oh, she pulled over to show love. Okay. Just Spirit tells me I got to double check. And so who's up next? Timestamp is, and what's her name again?
Michelle.
Michelle. Is that our friend, Michelle?
Our friend, Michelle.
Ow! Okay. Nothing special, just off the cuff. All right. Wow. She had a download, but I don't know if she took it in. just saying. According to her body, I don't know if she's having a good transition or not. Good God. Okay. She hasn't been nice to herself. Okay. Michelle, be aware of some of your thinking is starting to stinking thinking, because I wanted to actually cough and make the blood not go to my head and I might pass out. Let's get the air back into my body. When you have these thoughts, you need to start pulling it back, saying, no, cancel, and stop running with it. It's running with the gazelles with that. No. This doesn't have to be the natural process. That's the ego's process. Stop, bring it back. Bring it back. And then it's like calling yourself home, knowing that you're feeding your energy. You say, no, bring it back, Michelle, bring it back. Because remember, your emotions increase the thought process. You don't have to have it go there. Hey, Vicki, you don't. What I did to myself, it was an open position. Yes, I like how she said that, because especially when there's a lot of kids in the family or anything bad, but it's just these programs. It's the way we function. We got to stop being mean to ourselves. We have to go, oh, shit. Now, some of them will feel like you're somebody put you in the hot seat and that damn Bunsen burner's on full blast. And you're like, oh, Jesus. But that's how you know how much you're tied to that particular thing. You can heal it out. You can resolve it out, and you're going to become a happier, healthier person, because your emotional intelligence will rise up. Our bodies is a life recipe. This stuff is coming up. Good God, I will be happy when I see it. Amy knows what I'm talking about. Woohoo! I used it to fuel my victim. See, now good on her, because she's starting to see how she feeds these things and how they all kind of can weave in and out. So good job.
Fernandez.
Teresa Fernandez. Okay. Anything special?
Career guidance. And Teresa Fernandez. Now remember, if you want your name in the drawing, because is this the last day, or is there tomorrow? Tomorrow.
Shows the last day you can get your name in the treasure chest, and the only way you can do that is to buy purchase a reading to get your name in. Now, Teresa Fernandez, about career. Now, we had to wait for that energy to shift, and that energy has shifted. We appreciate this. Remember to share me into the rooms. That would be good. And if you share, you could also win a card, because me and my husband, we look through it, and then Spirit chooses, that person, and then we get you a card. Career. That's interesting. The way that, because it's only a 1 minute, this would be when that'd be good for more. But just real quick, for your career, we're going to take the yin card. The yin card says, there is no birthing of this career. So it's something that either needs to be birthed, or it's in the process of being birthed. If I asked, tell me a little, the Five of Forces, it's in reverse, and I'm blind as a bat. When this card is reversed, the winter shows snow-covered trees in a still landscape. Yeah, let's get past that. The phase this is a phase that may call for you to be less active in the world. However, it is quiet energy that pays off later. The passive receptive state is a good time to meditate, to connect to spirit. So you're learning that particular part of what kind of career you want. So that means there's a part of you that's developing. You don't have to birth it, because a part of it's already in place. And in order for it to really take off in the direction you want, you really have to hone in who you are, what you like, what it is, what you're willing, not to, what I'm all good at. No, what's going to make you have the passion. They said the main thing that stops you from really doing it is that you're still looking. And just stop looking and say, thank you. Thank you for the direction. Because they said the reason you're still looking is you're afraid that you're going to get attacked for what you choose. You need to heal that out. Okay. Be aware that that's something happened in the past. Okay, we're done. Next, excuse me. Somebody else wants attention. Okay. For those that have gotten into the room, understand Spirit will give you an email, or you send the email, you will get attention. But if you want to wait until the end of the show, you wait until then I call out. Otherwise, let's go.
Patty.
Miss Patty. I know you're looking for answers. Yes, you'll start to get a lot when you're with our appointment. But what happens, the system is looking to be discouraged. Write that down. Why? Because you're used to having to act mean or receive people acting mean. There is the energy of act mean. So it is a kind of act mean energy, and it is action. So your body says, I'm reacting to this and I don't like it. It makes you feel helpless. And so now we can look a little bit deeper on that. So looking forward to it. What can you do in the meantime? Just start writing what happens when you expand who you are. Okay, next.
Larissa. Are my psychic gifts getting stronger? I am sure I am having a conversation as I was waking up this morning. It said,
the first thing you're going to have to understand is that, yes, your light codes, some light codes have come on. Part of yours is that learning to understand. We all have abilities, but you get to understand it a little different. They said the main thing that's going to stop you from developing that is other people's opinions. So it is understanding to consider the source when you want to share it, and you think it may be energy, and separate it. You're beginning to develop who you are, but you've got to watch out for criticism, because you'd rather have feedback. Get into people with groups and things like this that are there to support you. And they said that you have to also heal out lofty energy. Lofty energy from people create you to be incompatible with your higher self, with your intuition that's coming through, because that energy makes it so overwhelming that you get distracted, and period. It just means that it's like strong signal, and all of a sudden it's like Wi-Fi. We need to eventually build the muscle up so that you can plug in direct, and then it can be a nice strong signal that nobody can break, which takes time. We are going to have classes about that. I need to watch this video later, because they're telling me all the classes we're doing, and I'm going to need to know what the timestamp about this is. Good Lord. Okay.
well, I've got the timestamp, so I hope it'll help.
Yeah, well, you got to make sure that you email me or something. So don't put it in the messenger, because that sucker disappears.
Oh, no, I won't put it in the feed. I'll send you a picture. Oh.
Messenger, ours.
Howdy.
Howdy doody time.
For you, Brendan and Amy, hope all is well with you both. Love listening. Would it be possible for a reading, please? Lots of love.
What's interesting about this, Julie, is that energies from the outside seem to influence you, because as I started to go, oh, yikes, oh, wait, what? And then it started to go down, and it says the energies will influence. And what happens then is that it's looking for an installed button. Okay, so at 1 year old, somebody installed a button into you that you had to behave a certain way. What happens is that now you have a panic button, because you're like, don't touch my button. And have you ever had people that just pushed your buttons? Okay, it's like, how do they know? Where the hell, how do they know where that button was? Well, we want you to uninstall that button. But how they touch that button is there's a part of you that has, don't you put your finger, no, don't touch it, don't touch it. And they haven't touched it yet, but your body becomes very overwhelmed, because you can feel them getting closer to touch your button. You're like, don't do it, don't do it. I'm going to bitch slap you, don't do it. And this is based on touch that button. I'm not sure. This is going to be a very interesting ride for you. Pay attention to those thoughts, pay attention to the emotions, pay attention to the story that's playing out. Because once you get into your spiritual space, you'll literally see this operation happening, and you're like, we couldn't make this shit up if you wanted to, but this is happening because of this. Kevin, that would be awesome. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea the cost. I don't know any of that stuff. We're certainly going to be able to try to keep it as cheap as possible. I want. I can't get the words out, but I want to. Okay, so do I really? This is so quivering. It feels like it affects the hearts, the nerves, the lungs. Okay, so they're saying that the outwards, the results you have has to do with you were a child, and you were looking for praise for what you've done, and it was like, child, you have to be this energy, and then you can get creative, and then you jump from this to this to this to this. But you're safe, or are you? Okay, so the little girl knows that she wants to, and she's going to do it anyway, but because that's what makes her calm. But at the same time, that energy inside is not calm, and so I'm asking, how can you help so that she can be more her? Okay, so, what's the right thing to do? What's the wrong thing to do? Notice how you hold yourself in certain standards. Notice how you have so much faith, and you'll see that their right and wrong is different than their right and wrong. And this is where it gets confusing, because how do I function if everybody changes the rules? Even those that have the right and wrong change those rules. So it's like, don't do as I say, not as I do. And there's a certain expectation that causes you to live like this. Okay, we got to help that inner child so that you can actually come home inside your body. And the best way to do it is, again, to notice what is with discernment. Just start noticing the right and wrongs. Do you need to believe in that? Do you need to invest in that? Do you need to adhere that that's the best way to live because that keeps me safe? Now, this is just an old way of living. It's time to transform that up. So it's the mental intelligence with the emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence that needs to grow. Thank you, Jess. She says, wrapping up of that energy with spirit, I think. So, go ahead. Say it.
Today in our chat that during class, my ass doesn't get tired.
That's mine neither. Isn't that funny? Yes, spirit does feed me. It comes through. It keeps me healthy and strong. I'm learning how they're teaching me at the same time. It's beautiful. Oh, do you have Larissa's timestamp?
2 hours.
So at the 2-hour mark, Larissa, is your timestamp. So that's where your reading was. And thank you. So just let you know that's there. Who's next?
Miss Vicky.
Miss Vicky. Oh, Miss Vicky. There's an awkward feeling. They're saying that there's a party that begins to see how it is. Well, if I put myself out there and this is what I get back. This is your 5-year-old self. Hey, wait, we've been working on the 4. Okay. Oh, you've grown. So your 5-year-old self says, yes, I'm not sure because it feels uncomfortable. I'm not sure how to resonate with that new aspect of myself. But the 5-year-old self says, I can't help but to go into habit of a little bit of panic that you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Facade. Oh, that card you chose today, Spirit really chose well, Amy. Because this is part of that untold story. Because, you have tipped it, you're moving into it, you're like in the middle of, because there's a weakness. It's like, oh my God. Okay. So then L3D. Okay, Vicky, L1D and L3D. Make sure she gets the timestamp if she hasn't seen it. All right, so who's next?
I'm out of emails.
Okay, so this is where we turn to the room. And because we're out of emails and nobody else is paid, we're going to take a look at those that are in the room. If you haven't gotten a reading and you want one, you say, reading, please. Or, then that's where hopefully nothing will freeze up and we can see it. Okay. You're welcome, Larissa. Remember, tomorrow night for me is my Tuesday night at 9 for my next show, which is your Tuesday morning, depending on where you're at, is the butt crack of dawn. Isn't that correct?
Yes. For me, it's Central Time. It's 5:30 in the morning.
So I come on at Central Time at 5:30 in the morning, and then if you know for Kevin. Oh, okay. Hold on. I can't even. What's that?
Kevin's had a headache for the last, I don't know how many days. It's gotten better, but it's still there.
Gotcha. Kevin, left brain, right brain. Right brain's got no energy going through it. Left brain is a 9. And the headache is because of the right brain. Kevin, what you're going to do is you're going to right side only, right here, Kevin, rub. Does he need a magnet? Okay, get yourself a refrigerator magnet or take your hand and make sure you do it not half and then rub that. We got to get the energy. See, because what happens is that the right brain is feeding the hysterical energy that began to occur when you were 28. I have no idea how old you are, Kevin. So use a magnet, rub that point, right side only. And the other point would be, do you need a magnet for that as well? No. So once you're done with the small intestine source point, you're going to come to the front, which is just right here. And then you're right at the crick, not down here, not way up here. It is right there where it bends. And you're going to get in there and you can get a good 30 times of rubbing on that side. And you're thinking, and then I want you to tell me, Kevin, how much pain you have. Because there's a coping issue that you have. Part of the pain was the coping issue. Excuse me. What's it about? Pain. What do you have to be incompatible about? Myself. And that forced you. So you.
No, he didn't today.
Kevin, you are more than welcome to my love. Sorry, put baby in the corner. But no, it is just a figure of speech. This way, if you don't want to be seen or if you're tattles, they're always tattle out on Vicky one way or the other. I think it's funny. But honey, you have an opportunity. So you come on in and you let us know. Let us know either way if you're going to come in or not come in. Oh, Kevin, we wouldn't mind seeing you naked, but that's okay. He says, I got to get my clothes on. But you're right. This isn't that kind of show. Oh, my God. I hear a whole bunch of memes. Panic buying. Oh, my God. Women, stop that. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I got to get out of people's thoughts. Oh my God. Tattletale spirit. I know. And they were teaching just in class of the day how the emotional intelligence of our child is with tattletaling, and yet they're doing it, Amy. It's hilarious. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't intentionally get into that space. It's just the spirit downloads me, and it's kind of funny. No offense, sweetie cheeks, my husband that may be watching. Vicky says it could be that type of show. Oh my God, Vicky. Not trying to slam anybody, but I was on the verge of, okay, how do I want to be at Facebook presenting?
That wasn't me.
Oh, that wasn't me. You sound like Shaggy. But anyway, I was like, oh, I can't do that. I can't even. Oh, no, no. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it was like, that's not for me. So anyway, hi, dear. Is it okay to bring you live or do you want to stay in the corner?
No, that's fine. I got clothes on now. It's similar.
Okay.
They just were, as opposed to them having been 100, they were more like on a 5 to a 6.
Okay. And that might be because as we begin to heal you through using all of these different tools, your shit's coming to the surface that you would need to address. Okay. So in that case, give me 2 seconds of looking it up. Now, Spirit says, did you rub your points? Did you use a magnet? Have you done any of that yet? All right. So you do that right now. Go use your magnet, both sides. Remember, flip over the magnet and then do that in front of us. I'm going to look up on the,
right.
Yeah. What'd you say, Ames?
Only his right hand.
Oh, just your right hand. Good point. She's watching because we're only doing the right brain and the right hand. Good, Ames. Thank you. So as I'm waiting to look up meningitis, I got to figure if it's under meningitis or spiral. We want to know what the body has to say because Kevin has been learning from his past lives that he's a monk. He says, oh my God, yeah. So as he's the norm, so now I just felt my brain. Okay, that's good. Keep going, Kevin. And then when you're done with that, remember the right heart point. Nice. Okay, my brain is like, Oh, that feels good. And I'm pushing all the wrong buttons now. I can't even remember what I'm pushing. Okay, now, no way, energetically, I'm picking up that his brain is like
pain accompanied to it, or uncomfortable sensations. And I'm going to tell you right now that I was doing yoga the other day here in the house because, we're in quarantine. And I broke down and just cried and cried and cried because I was actually a little sore. And I realized that it was my childhood. Again, we've not like the child went through.
Yes.
Anyway, so that surfaces a lot. Right now, what I'm dealing with, well, it's not one thing, it's the other, but it is what it is. I've been dealing with a lot of gastro issues the last couple of days.
So all right, now let me check your.
The belching that you were doing, I was cracking up because that was me.
I'm glad you are. That's me. I'm so glad when people up to it because it looks like I'm just, one of my.
If you start tooting, it's me as well.
Oh God! I swore to spirit I will do other things. That's just that. No, that's the workouts that you have. Scale it for me right now.
Oh my God! Right now it's not even a 1. I didn't even realize that.
So what was it before you came on the show?
It was fluctuating all day between a 3 and like a 5 at most. It wasn't really that bad, but it fluctuated all day.
So you did hear this, people. You witnessed this for yourself. Okay, your witnesses for yourself. All you did was balance your right brain energy.
Yeah,
and now it's down there. Remember, we got it down to a 1, and I said that you have something that you have to address.
Right.
This is, I think, what we have to address. Meningitis. Okay, just so people understand, that's an inflammation of the lining of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. Now, regardless of.
Well, I live in New York, so.
Oh yeah, that's. Oh, they're funny. Okay, ready? Have you ever felt like a pariah or an outcast, Kevin?
My younger years, yeah.
Okay, remember, it's nothing about usually an adult unless you really are seeing it. Okay, so the first 7 years of your life, and then after age of 7, your consciousness comes online with the body that already has the downloaded programs. Meningitis is about being a pariah, being an outcast. They are convinced they are unacceptable to human society. And when you first thought that was 4 years old. And before we go any further, what happened to you at 28?
I believe that's when I decided to pick up and move to New York.
Aha. And I asked Spirit, is that when your 4-year-old kicked off that you were feeling like a pariah and outcast? And they said yes. Can you feel any of that? Do you understand any of that? Why would you want to move?
There was a point in time as a young adult in my 20s, in my late 20s, where I thought I had things, I thought I knew it. I thought I had an understanding of myself, the world. I thought I had, typical of that age range. And it didn't. And it really, really just came back to slap me in the face. But long story short, I decided that I also needed to step away from the tribe that I was living with, which was my family.
Okay, now was that erratic energies?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that is the thing that's screaming. I have to ask one thing. Were you ever trained to be the scapegoat?
That was the sole purpose for my existence and my older brother's existence.
Okay, so now we understand why meningitis has presented itself energetically to you in such a fashion. And when I asked Spirit, what age did you were afraid of pain? And they said, my 2.5-year-old self. And
yes.
Yeah. Okay. And they said that this is when all of a sudden the instability became very muddled. It was not, where's the clear lines? That's what's causing the instability. It was way too many things. Erratic energy, it was behind it. a belief system because the program says to you at that age that you had to accept, believe, and give your willpower away, that you had to be the scapegoat. Okay. Okay. Now I am not doing that, Kevin. But it is how your inner child, I know it. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. Your inner child, when that turned, it doesn't matter what I do, my love is always going to be unreceived.
Absolutely.
Now,
oh my God. So that's one of the biggest issues that is now surfacing. And it's centered around love and the fact that I am unlovable because I would.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that's why I'm feeling it right here the most, because you're tapping into that third chakra, that identity of who is Kevin.
My whole gastro issue.
Yeah, it is. It is. I need to, now all of a sudden I have frontal lobe pain. So I'm looking because, I got to be reminded. I hate pain. Okay. Gotcha. What was the meaning of hating of pain? So what was pain? To the child, it was a habit of feeling unrequited love, meaning I love you, I just get no love back. That's what pain is.
Oh God, I'm so.
You can do it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Bring it through. You got it. We got all the time in the world.
It's in trouble for example, getting sick. So that was something that I grew up with. It was like, look at you, now you're going to cost me money.
Yes.
Really? Your tooth fell out and you got an infection. Why didn't you take care of it? I realized that I put something in the way and you tripped over it, but you should have seen it. Now you've cracked your head and you've got to pay for that. That was my entire upbringing.
Yes. Okay. You've tapped into your button. Yes. If you need to understand your phrases, Kevin is tapping into something very deep right now. And if he understands, put it in your words.
Like gaslighting from the get. I was, how do you gaslight children? It's so crazy.
But that was the collective of that, but we're moving out of that. That's why we are on a reset right now. And everybody's sent to the room and said, learn what you've done. Okay. Think about it. That's what we're doing, is resetting. So what is the phrase? Okay. Just think about it. What is your phrase? Now he's freezing up, but what was the phrase? And then write it down. Just take a moment.
I mean, those are all the words exactly what my father used to say to me.
Okay, now notice that you got father. Now, it's the idea that that's yang energy coming to you. So put down those words right now. Because one of the things in the healing is that we sometimes need to take a minute. And what that means is that you're going to take a minute, Kevin, when all of a sudden, when your body starts to show you, now, this is very important. I'll wait till you're done writing. Spirit loves to keep chatting away, man.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I can listen.
What happens is, because of these phrases, because you're telling yourself your own identity, your body is feeding that, and it's forming itself into meningitis. So without realizing it, you're putting energy into creating that experience. Okay, for instance, my body will start coughing when other people's energies become erratic. I will start getting sick if my polarity switches. And I found out that they told me I had a 9 millimeter nodule in my lung. And I sat here and I said, what's the energy on that? Not what's the mass, but what energy is there? Like when your brain goes low, you have to heal that. Well, what energy am I feeding? Is it getting energy? Yes. So it could grow. Yes. I said, wait, what do I need to do to take that energy and stop feeding it? When my body starts to react a certain way, I will stop and say, am I feeding it? Yes. Okay. And then if I do that, then I just go through and I do source point healing, which is I'm getting ready to teach the world. And when that occurred, and the symptoms instantly disappeared. In my body, I could actually begin to feel that it was beginning to heal. That's what we did with source point healing. You had to have, that phrase is huge, because the energy coming to you, that's when you turned it around. The energy was coming, but you turned it around and go, oh, it is my fault. Or at that age as a child, that's very detrimental. So how are we going to help you? What do you want him to do? look at toward yourself, how petrified, which also solidified in pain. Ooh. Wow. It's a broadcast message to yourself because the amount of energy, remember, I don't know if you weren't here when I first started today, and it was, everybody needs to begin to be responsible for the energy about them and that they put into the room and what energy they take in. So as a child, you were there and their energy was blasting you. And when that energy gets stuck versus going through you, it creates a whole nother story going to get rid of viruses. Your body is built to get rid of bacteria, and all these things. But the body is relying on you to be responsible to take out the energies, to balance the energies, and to stop taking and feeding and paying out energy. And we have to move back to how we do this. So the phrase, without knowing it, you're paying to keep it alive.
Wow.
Okay. We want
that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you. We need to get you to stop doing that. Now, how is the best way to do this? And they said that you have to begin. Now, this is the tough part. You know what habits are? We all have them. And in our aura, it is like a morphogenic field. And the morphogenic field is like, if you understand this, if I were to cut my skin tissue off and put it in a petri dish and had it grow, I could grow. With me so far? The
Yes.
morphogenic field that's in our aura has to hold what you are to become. So your habits, which has to do with the phrase, comes in and says, hey, Kevin, you're not behaving the way you're supposed to be. So this aura will dictate what you're doing. How so? Because also your body's consciousness is separate from your consciousness here. And it tells you, oh, Kevin, it's 2:00. You're supposed to feel like shit. Kevin, it's 4:00. You have to be a scapegoat. Now you can be.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so I think I mentioned that I mirror my mother a lot. My mother's existence, I'm going to keep it really simple. She should have died many years ago because of everything that she has endured, health-wise. But having said that, she would go into severe. Now I can recognize it, and I never knew that. And I, as a child, would come home from school, and I would have to watch after her.
Oh, wow. Okay, so now here's an interesting thing. So when from 3 to 5 p.m., now we have what's called a circadian rhythm. Okay?
Right before Pops got home from work. Yeah.
Yo, you just told, I love this because you understand her body's morphogenic field and her body's consciousness says, oh my God, look at the time. And dad's coming home. Her body already instilled that it was conditioned that when he comes home, that this is what's going to happen. Her body's in her whole, every part of her is going, okay. So it was gearing up. It was trying to figure out what to do. It already had a particular memory, the first event with this person. Now, 3 to 5, that is the bladder. The bladder has the emotional talk of, I'm paralyzed will. Okay. I have to withhold, or I'm miffed, or I'm timid. I'm inefficient. I have an inferiority complex. I have to do self-justification for my actions. Sour grapes, a martyr. So meridians are beautiful because the meridians tell you a great story. What's really going on? Okay. Now you said also 6. So that means that there's another time period between 5 and 7. And 5 to 7 p.m. is the kidney. Those are 2 water elements, by the way. Really? Yeah. Oh, wow. That has to do with, now what meridian talks there is that it's fear. It has to whine. It has to dread. It has to have bad memories. It has to have phobias, impending doom, criticism, and it has to become an it. Okay? So it's also to do with feeling small and weak. So her story which I love that you said it, was that her body is going into this behavior because this is how she is, this is how she responded, or this is how she's supposed to be. It is learning how to communicate with the other energy that's coming into the space. Okay? This is the relationship dynamics that had occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm loving the fact that you're downloading right now information from spirit. I'm just watching it beautifully. So I'm just going to allow you to continue that for a few minutes. How is your head doing?
I'm fine.
Because your head is that when the download started before, the program was not allowing the beautiful light information that was coming through. You're actually downloading now. And is your mother's passed, correct?
No,
No?
she might be soon.
Okay, her energy is behind you. Now, I can talk to people that are dead or alive, but her energy is behind you. She has
Of course.
somehow astral traveled, or no, it's just her consciousness drifting. But she's trying to remind me that it's your nervous system that is holding the erratic energies. And she says the main thing that causes, wow, thank you, Mama. She says, and then she points, she says, that's the petrified, that's what his mirror neuron said that he has to copy, is to be in pain. This is coming. It's happening. So we have to deal with some epigenetic things. Thank you, Mama.
I knew that. Oh, I fucking knew it.
Good for you. See, that's the thing. It's like, how do we when spiritual investigation is finding these things. So, okay. She says, I'm just going to give you a heads up. She says, you have to back the room. Okay. So when people don't understand how to be responsible for their energies and they just throw that shit out for whatever reason it is, to deflect or to process, because men were not allowed to actually have feelings. You have to be a certain way. Okay. So, and your mama is saying, do you want me to ask now? I'm mirroring you. So I'm picking you up. I'm your surrogate right now. So I'm Kevin. See, I'm not Brenda. I'm Kevin. So I get a nice yes. I need you to say your name once for me, your full name. No, what you identify with. Say your name, how you identify with your name. So say it out.
Haha.
Okay, you are not you, Kevin. Your energy. And what happens is that we have to get you back into your body. Now, Amy knows this one quite well because she will morph into her husband and other people. Right now, you are taking any of that. You are being, do you know who you are being right now?
I'm a little confused, but
okay, not that. No. Okay, like for instance, Amy, can you come on, darling? Because this is what I want you to understand. Realize she's taken on their energy, right?
Right.
Okay, so I will say, how do you know? First of all, how do you know? Talk to me about this, Amy. How would you explain to him what I'm getting at? Hold on, we can't hear you. Somehow I'm missing it.
I don't know why.
There you go. Go ahead.
When I work with my husband, I'm myself doing, my normal everyday things, and then all of a sudden, like that, I'm sad. I kill something. And then I'm like, but whoa, wait, that's not me. So then I muscle test, and sure as shit, I'm him. And then I say my name 3 times, and I do the Celtic weave, I do connecting heaven and earth, and I do the hookup, zip up.
Okay. There are often times when I see myself stuck in this pattern, and I have to shake myself out of it because I heavily identify with my father at that point in time.
Good job. Ready? Okay. You're still not you. No. Say, I am my father.
I am my father.
Yes, you're about 1,000,000,000%. You identify with pictures, memories, all of this. Sometimes when people that we love or whatever we're trying to associate. Thank you, Ames. What will happen is that we will become them. Because
and I keep telling myself that. Yeah. That's so funny you use that phrase. That's what I tell myself.
Now, ready? I need you to claim who you are, because you need to say, and then I don't care, you say it in your head. I need you to say it 3 times, say it out loud, whatever you want to do, but you need to claim yourself. But by identifying with your father, your whole body says, I am, and then your immune system, everything changes. But there you go. Now, as you're changing and you're thinking, I'm watching, oh, look, there's the picture of me. Oh, that's what I like. And there you go. I like yoga. And what happens is then what your energy becomes into grounding as, oh, you're so much stronger. Keep it up. Keep it up. Very good. Now, see, he's nice and strong. Now, look at me, Kevin. And I don't care what phrase you say, but I want you to say, I am, and then say your name. Go for it.
I am Kevin.
Oh, yes, you are. Now, say I am, and then say your father's name.
I am George.
No, you're not. Yeah. No, you're not. Good. Now you just cancel because you're like, well, I don't want to become him again. You can cancel. But you need to own you. This is why part of the classes has to do with who am I, identifying myself, all of these things. Because if you don't understand this, then you're not going to have value in yourself. Now, just by doing that alone, notice how your body now is jerking, moving, wiggling. Isn't that interesting?
I think it's hysterical that I've got this yellow on too.
Yeah, because that's a good yellow. Yeah, your body knew it needed some yellow, man. And just for anybody that don't know, yellow is that 3rd chakra, that thing that he's working on. Now, I'm going to ask your body real quick. You feel erratic energies. Is it hard to be you? No, but the little boy, the 5-year-old says, it's coming. It's what's coming, dear? Towards myself. So towards myself, what's coming? Talk to me. Oh, the lofty energy is going to come through the door. Oh, okay. So it's holding a memory. So when your father came home, did you feel this lofty energy? He could not. Of
course, because the minute oh my God, it was terrible.
Okay. Yes, that's why your nervous system is like, I'm if my hair could stand on ends right now, it's standing on ends everywhere. But I mean, literally, I would, okay. And my whole energy is pushing on my diaphragm, pushing up. So there's no energy going to the bottom half of my body at all. It's literally pushing up. I can feel the pressure pushing. So it's like, I want to jump out of my skin. I want to go out of there. I said, okay, spirit, now I can't even get my shoulders down. Okay. Because you know that coming through that door is an ego. And that really frightens me, because now all of a sudden my teeth are hurting. You're like, yeah, but I don't know what to do. And that's where you became indecisive. So you took on a role. You had to give up your expectations and take up the role. What did you have to become, Kevin? What role? Like, I had to become a helper in order just to exist.
For my mother, I had to become a caregiver. Okay. And for my father, I had to become a servant, because that was the whole reasoning for me being for having children, was for us to serve him.
There you go. And now, because of the recognition, my whole face, now I know it shaped me. So yes, I get it. That had shaped you. I got it. And so this is huge, because it's still part of your dark night of the soul that you're getting to the surface.
But the thing, it's crazy, because I feel like my kidney is bothering me right now, and I've never had that sensation before.
Very good. Understand. We're going where? When you were 16, there was a party that started to break away from your old roles. How did they draw you back in to make you do what they were so used to you doing? Did they make sympathy? Did they try to get you, push a button and find another button on you to get you to do it?
Well, it was interesting, because about 16 years of age was when I kind of, So my godparents took me under their wing at that time frame, but I still lived with my family. So
did you have a career? What did you do career-wise? What did you do with focus of that? That's that.
16 was high school, so I don't know.
All right, let's see. What else?
Other than the typical high school stuff, right? Like, it was a little different, because it was my godparents, and they were well-to-do, and they were really respected in society. And
Let me ask you a question. Did your grandparents ask you ever to come to them and sever your love with your parents? Do you know what I mean?
No, it was my God.
Idea of, because the love was unreceived. Okay. Your mom, I will tell you straight out, your mom knew the hell that she was in, but she couldn't get out of it. She knew the drama, the trauma, but she couldn't get out of it. It was like, this is her penance. This is what she has to pay for her crimes. It's paying for the sin. You know what I mean? It's like it was drilled into her that this is who she's supposed to be. Now, she wants you to heal from this so much. She does not. She feels really bad on a soul level. I don't want to say that, but that's okay. The thing is that she doesn't want you to be in that hell anymore. Let's just put it that way. She wants you to get that love you deserve, because you for so long, oh God, no, I want to cry and quiver.
Is this her consciousness? I feel it so heavy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going through too. We're both going through it. She says the love unreceived, part of what she's learning before she dies is this process she's learning. She's actually, now normally I never see this. Usually I see this after a person dies, who, like for instance, she would take on the role of you to see how she was received. She's kind of seeing that already. Wow. I see her crying right now, but she feels the relief though, that she was able to help, because she felt like she destroyed you. She feels a little relief. Can you feel that? There's like, it's not that she's got her conscience clear. She just feels like for you getting it. She says, I know he's getting it, that he's actually feeling love. There is something there. And don't be surprised if you end up having a crying jag later, that she knew you deserved. But she had also not in her to do so. But now she's like, I've really been, she's the one. Oh, Jesus. How long has she been this way? Because I feel like she had something to do with you and me finding each other.
Her entire life, it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
She's been declared dead twice on the operating table. She's got cancer.
That's why she can do what she does. Because she has that connection to the other side, that's one reason she can communicate to me so well. So she had something to do with a bunch of other people. There's like 18 people here on the other side that all have been rooting for you. You even have some past life people that knew you as a monk here to help you. Your soul is that important. It's beautiful, Kevin. I want to cry all of a sudden, but I'm like, I got makeup on. Oh God. And then they says, but notice what you did toward yourself. And then now somebody's coming through that's like an archangel and all of this, that said you wanted to know from the deepest core, you're going to love yourself so much that it's okay. And they said the next time you feel that love, just don't, if it's stuck in your head, bring it down to your toes, like shimmy into it. If it is out there, bring it into you and then shimmy into it. Learn to fluff the aura with love and use color if necessary. But it has been so far removed from you. But you can feel my love. Yes, Kevin? Okay. And you have done that with other people. It's just that you've had it at bay for so long. Okay. We need to ground. Yeah. You got, no. Hey, sweetheart, I get it. You need to ground yourself with love, because I feel that monk life, I think you had to take a life as that monk in order to survive, to be that warrior monk. I think you took somebody's life, like for instance, let's say accidentally a child. It was you or them type thing. And look at your eyeballs. I think that's what your soul did, was like the way you put meaning to that soul and the age that I think it was a boy or a girl, boy, I think. You turned toward yourself and basically destroyed yourself.
Something with me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So when we were kids in school, we had the drug lady, right? The drug lady would come to teach the class about drugs and alcohol.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
She told the story about the drunk driver who accidentally ran over a kid, ended up being his own kid. He didn't know what the kid was, didn't know where his child was, and he ran out to the car and he looked and he realized that he'd hit his kid and killed him. Right. Oh. So that was like a big story to scare us into not drinking and driving when you got to that age, blah, 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 blah. So I went home for Christmas one year from New York, and I drove home a little bit buzzed. And I went out to the club, and I drove home a little bit buzzed. And I started from that evening because I hit a ditch, and I started this stuff. So it was in my lifestyle. I would start to have dreams with my niece in them, and I would be so confused because I could get these bizarre sensations that I killed a child. And I freak the fuck out. It's enough to put me into bushes. And by that, I mean like throw myself into bushes and curl up in a fetal position because I don't understand where that's coming from.
I do. I know.
And I question whether I actually did it.
Not in this lifetime. Oh my God. Okay. So what's happening to me? No worries, people. Everything's fine. It's just that I'm getting such a major confirmation of this past life. I'm looking at his nervous system. I'm mirroring it. And that's why all of a sudden his body is getting this confirmation. And like Blaine is like in the wild. They're not domesticated animals, and they have to go in fight, flight, freeze in order to survive. You know, how fast can I get away? What can I do? How do I do this? And then you get there and you're done. And then the polar bear and other animals will shake and release it out of the nervous system. We don't. Now, okay. Spleen's acting up. Hold on. I'm just trying to bring it through to your body. So what happens is that when we have a past life, epigenetics, these will play out into our body, and we have a chance again to resolve it, get another piece of the perspective, learning how to get back to love. Now, your monk self says, I have such a fear of being alone, but I also know that I deserve to be alone because I took a life. You got to stop blaming yourself, Kevin. And Arturus. Do you have any special names that you seem to be keen with the most? Like a Turl. I mean, I'm hearing a name from like if you were a monk, you would be like a Turl. I can't say it properly. Oh God. Why are you not?
Artudel?
No, it could, whatever name that you know, whatever your name that you'll notice, it'll pop into you. You're like, oh, you'll get the goosebumps. Okay, so I gotta find out.
There's a name that I absolutely love, and it's the name Camilo, and I have no understanding as to why I do.
Yes, you do. No, you do. You do. Okay, so now here we go. The spleen area, this is the spleen meridian that says towards myself, I have to hurt myself. The spleen is your protector. It's like the mother. But in this case, I have to serve. I have to serve Kevin. Now you understand why you had to serve your father. Okay, this may get more bizarre. Excuse me. Okay, hold on. I'm just warning you.
Don't warn me. I'm going to warn you. If you fart, you better be careful. I'm going to take you out. I don't know what sort of gremlin has died in my gut, but girl, it is not cute.
Okay, I have to ask. Okay, so that soul was with Kevin in that lifetime. Has he met that soul in this lifetime? But you had to serve your penance. You've had to take care of. So the taking care of is your mother. The servants is the father. But I feel like there's a distant cousin or something. Now, do you have a cousin? You don't have to call him out by name or anything. That has abused himself.
So I don't know. I don't know anything.
Okay.
Okay. My family pulled away from all existence as far as your family went.
All right. The meaning that you put onto that soul's life and the meaning. Now, this is what happens when you go with runaway thoughts. Okay. At the beginning of the show, I was talking about how I was sitting there and all of a sudden I had turned the TV on, was busy doing something else, and I started to feel like I was going to die. And that's because my meridians and stuff were down. And I started to believe the story. And I said, stop. I don't have to run there. I started to pull my energy back. Now, a lot of people will just start running with that. Oh, you giving yourself little scares there.
My oh, I think I just shit myself. Sorry.
Oh my God. You got to learn to know that you can say, no, I don't have to run with that thought. So what was it that fell over? I'm just curious now.
Two books. One is my journal, and the other is the book that I'm currently reading.
Can you read the name of the book? Just curiosity.
The closest one to me is Everyday Dharma.
Okay, keep going.
And then the one that I failed to finish is 40 Days Soul Fast.
Your soul is talking about its dharma.
I was changing out listen, all of this happened. This conversation came about as I was cleaning my room and deciding to reset up my altar.
Wow. Okay. So now we have more confirmation. If I could tell you what is running through my body right now, all I can say it's like cooler than a witch's tit. You know what that means? Okay.
Yes.
So that tells you all of the goose pimples that are popping. I am not thrilled by it because it's like, holy shit, it's making every hair. I wouldn't be surprised. That's a whole, okay, now here comes your, well, Kevin, we must have decided on another level to save each other because I really feel like I've known you many moons. All right, so we're just going to sit like this. Well, hello, crowd. I completely forgot y'all were there. Woohoo!
Maybe in a minute.
I know. I have no idea how long time's not even existing right now. Just know, yeah, we're good. Okay.
But I need to express that I'm very appreciative.
Thank you. And you'll pay it forward one way or the other. You'll, tell people, advertise, whatever. You find a way.
Yeah,
Spirit will show you.
I would like to go to your website and do a testimonial.
Oh, we'd love that. Even a live testimonial, any of that. That would be great. Let me tell you one thing. That invitation was all set up by the Christ conscious. I mean, look at what you got around you, for God's sake. I mean, they already says, yeah, see. They are, oh, Jesus, that's hilarious. That's why I have a bunch on my right. Yes, look at this. Okay, see, okay, activation is almost complete. Now, you know what a Merkaba is?
I do.
Okay, so your Merkaba is going to start spinning, so you should be able to adjust to it without getting sick. The top's starting to go one way, and then as soon as it starts to line up to perspectives, one's going, as soon as it gets there, right, there it goes. Now your bottom one is starting to go. So that goes in the opposite direction. The light code information that's been happening is you're taking it through the Tanji pole, the energy cord, the tube that goes through you, the chakra tube thing. And so don't be surprised if you have a warming sensation down your male parts, just to connect it to the nadis and the two energies, the left and right. You just turned on a code above your head. Oh, God. And if you can feel that showering, I feel the showering of this iridescent.
I feel like my Reiki hands on is what I feel like.
Yeah, mine are burning. And you got symbols going into your hands from my hands. I feel like your Kundalini might be starting to activate or something because all of a sudden I want to.
Ooh, I just got a massive chill.
Okay, so there's a good confirmation. Now it's strange. The left side of my eye, there's like a tinge, a pin, and a pain, but nothing serious. But it's just your nerves are recalibrating. Okay, now my hands have changed. I feel like that's Now I want to go into a sweat beautifully. That means the physiology aspect now is learning to integrate your frequencies. Good thing I put deodorant on today. Yes, I got flip-flops on. I'm good.
Do you remember FDS woman?
I do not. My brain is like, I'm in another land right now. Well, tell me about it.
Feeling fresh and confidence. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was
yes.
And the commercial would have a woman walking out of the apartment and a dog would have its face in her crotch. That was just hysterical.
Yes. Oh, good Lord. Oh, I love their humor, don't you? Oh my God. If you could see, I might have to take a shower after this. Man. But you're cooling down.
I am. I just felt that actually.
Yep. And now we're leveling off, and now we just have to bring in the grounding. So feel your toes, feel the nerve endings in your toes, make them wiggle. I'm finally settling. Okay, now I actually feel like I got legs now. Beautiful. So your energy is now coming down. You know, Amy, what's the name of that movie? Maybe you, Kevin, you remember this. She sits there and she goes, yes, yes, yes. And then the lady in the restaurant goes, I want what she's having.
That's Meg Ryan.
Yes.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless, that's it. Yes. Okay. So that's the energy sensation that's happening. You are finally, you're doing an integration process, Kevin. Besides being activated, why not? Just do the whole shebang for you right now. Wow, I just had iridescent energy just like pour all over my legs.
I'm glad it was that.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that I feel like you're stepping into the new high frequency, mister. Because it's literally going down my legs and down to my feet. I'm back to my feet again. So what did you just say to me? Something process. What's the process? I'm no longer feeling alone. Oh, hey. I think you started to download some love or something. I don't feel lopsided either now. That's okay. We'll eventually turn it out. But you can stop taking on karma. Oh, how's your monk self? Way better. Your monk self's way better. Okay. Hey, and your monk self is that you don't have to worry about your monkey brain going nuts. You know, that all that endless chatter. I don't feel attacked as much anymore either. So your definition of pain may be redefined. I'm just going to be so curious of how your life is going to be from this point forward. This is going to be exciting. Okay, I've stabilized.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope to be able to maintain, and deal with all of this. Something that I really always wanted to do is manage things with grace. Like that's very important.
Oh, grace and ease. That's, if you could hear Amy, yeah, that's what we say all the time. Grace and ease, please. Yes, I am now Brenda. Yeah, good. And let's just double check. I will be a surrogate to you. Say your name, please.
I am Kevin.
Ooh, nice and strong. Yes, and I'm Brenda. Yes. Wow. Do I feel balanced? What about you? I see all of your chakras glowing. Front and back.
Honestly don't know the last time that I felt like this. I don't know that I've ever felt like this.
It's a beautiful feeling. You wait, when you start healing all of those 4 body systems, you're going to know, because it's like if you feel like shit, you're like, okay, what do I need to address? Pull my energy back, and then you get to be realigned, and all of a sudden spirit will just. This is why I don't ever want to go back out to that old matrix. Don't need to. Now you got fireworks going off in your aura. Okay, people are happy on the other side. Your mom's going, oh my Kevin.
That was really intense, Brenda.
It
the mom
was.
thing. Wow.
It was. Yeah, I'm used to this stuff. So I am also coming back to the realization is that I'm not sure how everybody's going to take it. I got to look at the screens, but I don't really care. But I'm hoping that we're received well.
That energetic courting that she has with me is a very, very tight one. So.
Okay. Julie says, "How is your headache?" So how is the head? How is that?
I feel like I just was rebirthed.
Yeah.
I don't feel. I don't have anything to say. I mean,
0 through 10. 10, yeah, I have a headache. 0 is like, I feel nothing.
Something.
We could go out dancing, Kevin. That's how much energy just feel. I feel a lot. There's a little bit of the.
Well, I said my name without cringing. So.
I didn't even realize that.
I didn't cringe.
He's going to do the Kevin dance when we're done. I can just see him going, ooh, I'm going to do the Kevin dance. I mean, you're going to say your name. Oh, my God, I can hear all kinds of things. He'll probably do floss, I mean, just, holy crap, your whole energy field has changed. My God, it's like happy.
So this really just happened, John. This just happened.
Yeah. Now put your finger in your belly that are going to go through your body. Don't resist them. Just understand that you have to allow it to flow because no more restriction. If it's in your head, and you look great. I appreciate your mom, Jesus, Buddha, all of the beautiful saints and angels and all of them. Usually people don't get to see that. So thank you for the form, but I can't let you go because my left side of my head is showing a sign. Okay, so who will Kevin be after he leaves me is part of what his soul is saying. So let me just check. Kevin, how are you feeling right now? Because your left side of your brain energy just went down to 4 because you know that this connection is about ready to break with me.
I think there's a little bit of the old self there, right? Like the old programming.
Yes, and that's part of that habit. Now, this is what you're going to do. Just so that your body knows. Yeah, you're getting ready to diminish yourself. I don't want you to do that anymore. We're going to be done with that, okay? So
doubt kicks in.
Okay. Next time, so doubt, you're going to be writing doubt down. You're going to look at distinct words that are your triggers and your clues. This is about showing yourself the dark night of the soul that needs to get out of it. Now, the brain, you'll be amazed. I had somebody that was depressed. Okay, I'll take care of it and then I'll talk. Gotcha. Left side, left hand, heart.
Okay.
Just rub 30 times. We don't need the magnet. No. Okay. You got to understand that you're going to have to take the source point and self-healing class just because you're going to be moving mountains and you're going to want to keep stabilizing until your body knows how to just keep it forever. I had somebody that had depression for years and haven't been able to take care of an issue when they were a child. I started to do a source point, left brain, right brain. Let's see now your left brain just started up. Your right brain is over. Your right brain is over. We got to bring that back down. I want you to do right hand, do this point right here, rub 30 times. Okay. And anyways, I'm balancing left brain, right brain. I says, okay, that's all I'm going to do and see what happens. I'm not going to rub any other points. And then as soon as the brain was balanced, all of a sudden the universe took off and you see different things unfolding in the universe. And he's like, resolve had just basically instantaneously resolved. And more joy is now back into this person's body. And it's just amazing. Now there you go. We finally got that even keel. Okay,
so what do I do to keep that?
Notice what you do to yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Again, you are waking up to not being a victim of your circumstances. You're waking up as a spiritual human that is like looking with spiritual investigation. Again, I know I got to teach these classes, but you're going to look and say, oh, wait, Brenda said negative emotions. Yep, I have one. Oh, there's a negative phrase. I have one. Oh, stop myself from going there. Call my energy back. My body is going through, if there's pictures. Now if you can see pictures in your eyes, whether it's in the feeling, the sensory system, any of it, go to my site to stop those pictures from controlling you. You can do that with your father, okay? if you believe, like I can see, like without realizing it, a part of your eye is looking in that direction. And it could be just this eye, but it feels like both. But choose one at a time, you'll see. And it's looking because it's to do with time and things like this. I'm getting there. They're warning me. They're like, bleh. Okay, so I'm getting there. You can take your power off and again, following the instructions. And you're going to diffuse it and the energy will dissolve and transform. Remember, energy can't be created or nor destroyed. It can only transform. That's what you're doing, is that you are learning to call back your energy, stop believing in things, meat suit, come back to that spiritual aspect where your consciousness is residing. And you get to have more power, not power in, say, the world's power. It is your personal life force so you can create better. Yeah, you got this. You're inside of you just said, I got this. Yes. Begin to be aware when the energies are leaving, you call it back. Okay? Just call it back. You can cancel and say, nope, mine. Eventually, you'll get to the point where you'll need to do cord switching, which is you have somebody in front of you and you take your power back, you take off the ickies, and then you have this communication. It's taking it out by the roots. It's different than cord cutting because I don't believe in that. I believe in getting the roots. Okay?
I agree 100%. Absolutely. Because what are you doing if you're just leaving the root there? You're not resolving anything. It's a temporary fix.
Right. And then it just welds back together. It doesn't create closure. With the cord switching, it does. So again, that's a free healing tool at my site. The brain is that let's see, do you want me to, I will figure out what spirit wants after that, but you've got this. Okay. If you feel like if I said to spirit, okay, when he left hand would be the heart. Okay. The heart. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you rub by the pinky. Okay, so you may want to put left, take a marker and or whatever you want, put it there on the left side. And with the right side, they said to make sure that stays balanced is that they want, oh, no, it's not. Okay, so the right side would be on your foot. Let me get a picture. Oh, goodness gracious. What did I do with that? It's the, it is the, remember, you're going to do this to your right side only. And it's the toe. So it's the inner leg, inner foot inside. Uh-huh. So the big toe right up there next to the ankle. Okay. There is, so you go over the bone and it's like right there. You can feel it. Feel it. Just slide over the bone. Okay. So you're following your big toe. That is the heart right at the crack. Okay. See, just kind of start playing with it. There's more to it, but this will be enough to help sustain you until spirit tells us what else we're doing. Okay. You have been a great pleasure. I mean, a lot of people, it's not a light journey. Well, I take that back. It is a light journey, but it is not. Yes. All I can tell you is that your mama soul feels like she's helped. That's beautiful.
Good. She did. That was really nice of her to step up, her consciousness to step up.
It's been trying for a while now. So everything works out like it's supposed to. That's always good. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
I'm 100% appreciative. Thank you so much.
Kevin, you've been a pleasure. I really do. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye, honey. Stay blessed.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to go soon. We'll have to go soon because of the time. After 3 hours. Okay. So, Ames, how are you? And just to wrap this up, was there any more emails that I was unaware of?
Just one, and it's Jess.
Hi, Jess. Anything specific?
She said, I had depression since I was 8 and wish I could get rid of it. Okay.
So right now, your left brain is energy. Going to the left brain is not flowing properly. And we got to get that energy to, instead of feeding the depression, needs to go back into the brain. So, Jess, I'm going to tell you that I've got to get a good picture, a better picture than this. So when you go to the left leg, go on the outside of your leg, the pinky, go up to where you see the bone that sticks out of the side, ankle bone, and right in front of it will be like a hole, an indent. That is the gallbladder point. What I want you to do that right now, Jess, is to rub that for me. I'm just very curious. Rub that for me. Let's see how we are. And when you're done, say done, and we'll go from there. And I want you to feel the difference. If there's any difference, become aware, because energy sometimes will be so subtle. I mean, Amy had like, I'm spinning out. I'm not, I can't remember what it was. I said, we got to fix your brain, Amy. And so then we did that. And the next thing she goes, wow. She just, I mean, it was like instantaneously thing for her.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So yeah, so I do that every day now. I'm becoming healthier and stronger. This new healing tool that, well, it's old information, but it's just rearranging it differently. All right. So the time lapse is always what stinks, because it's what do you call it? Such a delay. So Jess, I'm hoping she's here. If not, understand that you, well, if she doesn't, she may not come back if that's the case. Down here, be aware and be mindful where it is, right in the middle. And I need you to rub that 30 times. And then after you're done with that, here. Is that what we want? Yeah. Left side, where the pinky is, right at the crack, it's like right in the same line. You're going to rub this point 30 times. Now, your blueprint part of you, the Adam Kedem, it's a 10. Okay, right brain, is it over? No, it's a 10. So see how that feels. Hopefully you did it. Keep me in contact with me. That would be very beneficial. We could, if she doesn't respond, I feel like I got to figure out if we're friends. Because if you're just a fan, I can't connect. Sometimes I can.
She's a tough dancer. I'm wondering if you can through the page messenger.
I'm hoping. Sometimes I can't, but it'd be nice. But if she shared or hit love, that way I can connect with her too. But anyways, the timestamp I would have to say it's about 3:22. I'll have to look up that, find a way to communicate and tell her that we gave her the last bit of information and answered her email, because she's not responding. So I'm assuming, I don't know what I'm assuming. I just can't tell if I'm on the right page. You guys have been great. I totally appreciate and love you. So we always say resolve to evolve. Heal instead of deal. You can heal that. Feel it to heal it. And stay blessed. I think I caught her off guard, people. I don't know.